I'm pleased to announce Edmonton Sports Talk has claimed Raphael Lavoie off waivers. He'll have his own show starting Tuesday. Travels with Raffy. Sorry, Vegas just got him back. We won't have that. My mistake, everybody. How you doing? Into the Thanksgiving long weekend we go. Couple of home games for the Oilers. The Elks play tomorrow as well. We're going to have Jordin Tootoo on the show in about an hour. His documentary, and one of the filmmakers behind that, Edmonton's own Adam Scourgy, that airs tonight at Rogers Place. Jordan's scheduled to join us just after 4, so that'll be fun to talk to him. And talk about fun, sticking around for the first segment of the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Hi, Jay.
Hey there, Reid. How are you doing today?
Our colleague and hero, idol, mentor, Joaquin Gage is here. Hey, buddy.
Don't meet your heroes. That's what I hear a lot.
No, don't say that about yourself.
No, I know.
Who's your hero?
Ooh, gosh, I would say myself. Really, no, I don't know. That's a good question. I wish we would have gone over this before.
Who's your favorite athlete as a kid?
As a kid,
yeah.
You know, if I really rewind, get in the DeLorean and fire up the old flex capacitor, we would. I'd have to say Tony Dorsett.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was a Dallas Cowboys fan. Probably more so because my dad bought me a jersey, Cowboys jersey, 33, Dorsett on the back. You know, had the holes, half shirt, looked good. Wouldn't work today.
Are you still a Cowboys fan?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay.
My dad, he grew up in the Bay Area. Well, he was from Detroit, moved to the Bay Area, and he was a 49ers fan. So, those epic battles of Cowboys, 49ers just drove me crazy. That Dwight Clark catching it in the end zone with Montana, I hated them. But then they kind of grew on me. 49ers unis, I feel, are the best unis in all of sport. They're gorgeous.
All of sport?
All of sport.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the red ones are pretty classic. I was saying the other day, I really like Tampa Bay's crimson and pewter. Because I kind of like that reddish color.
Like that would be the Mike Allstott vintage.
Yeah, like late 90s when they first rolled them out and Dungy was the coach. So we got Joaquin for a few minutes, and in honor of you being here, Joaquin, so I've been doing 3 limericks a day.
Okay.
And now I've been spacing them out, so I wrote a limerick about you.
I love it.
All right, here we go. I am seated next to Joaquin Gage. In Sweden, he went into a rage. Beat up a young pup, scared a woman on a bus. Thankfully, at EST, he's on a calmer page. So I had to work in one of my favorite stories of all time that you ever told anybody when you beat up
Have you heard that story?
No. I want to hear it right now.
It's time to tell it again. Yeah.
Do we have enough time? It's a lot. I expand it as I get older. Everything seems to expand. So do my stories.
Yeah.
So it was 3 games left in Sweden, and we're playing Leksand. And I played in Djurgården, and that's our derby game. And they ran me like so. Sweden was a different way to play. They didn't respect the goaltenders. Anyways, finally lost my crap, and this guy came in and was digging for the puck, and I grabbed him, and I pulled him down. We got into a little bit of a dust up. So, and as it turns out, he was a little bit younger, but I did manage to cut him a little bit. And after that game, everyone's going, "Oh, you're suspended. You're done. You might as well just go home," because we only had 3 games left in the regular season till playoffs. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what's going to happen here?" And so that night, I'm like worried and talking to my girlfriend, wife, eventually. And then the next day, in Sweden where I lived, I just took the train, just like the LRT, right? So. But I would go to the rink and people going to work downtown. So the bus would be, or the tunnelbana would be packed. And I'm worried about this whole thing and what's going to happen. So I get on the train, I sit down, and it's packed. But you know how those old Metro newspapers that people had that they could read? So, and I went to school a little bit, but to learn Swedish. But I'm sitting there and I look up and there's a little old lady sitting right across from me. And I look up and I see everyone's got these Metro newspapers. And I look and I go, God, that's me. And I'm on the cover of the Metro newspapers, and it says in Swedish, "Crazy Canadian goaltender." And it has me like my face, I'm all angry punching this kid. And I read the article, and it makes it even worse because there's a picture of him and he's cut and he looks like Rocky Balboa because of what I did to him. But I like, oh my gosh, because there's a big mean picture of my face on the cover. And I bury my head, and oh my God, I hope no one recognizes me here. And I look up, and the little old lady that's sitting right next to me, she's looking at me, and she's got her paper. Sorry if you're not watching on YouTube, but she looks down at the paper, makes eye contact with me, looks down at the paper again, and then got up and left. And so because it was me on the paper. But I got 3 games and was able to play playoffs.
Yeah. You didn't get sent home. So that story probably was first told to me by Joaquin on Inside Sports. I'm going to guess 8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
And then you retold it because I figure we have to wait at least 3 years between retellings. But it's so good. I do think it's something you can pull out every 3 to 5 years.
I wish, at those times there's all these moments that you remember, but it would be nice to have something tangible that you have to bring. I never thought to grab one of those papers just to have it.
Oh man, that would have been such a memory to have.
I know.
Right?
It's because it's hilarious. If you were to translate it, it painted me because I had this thing in Sweden where sometimes I would read fan mail or something, and everyone get a kick out of me translating Swedish English stuff. So I was trying to read the paper in front of, and it was terrible. Like it painted me in the worst light that this guy beat up a kid and he's awful. He should go home. There's no room in our game for Canadian crazy people and stuff like this.
Did you get suspended?
3 games.
3 games. But then you played playoffs?
Yeah, playoffs started in 3 games. They just gassed me for 3 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not too
Worked
bad.
out. Yeah.
So in the past, when Joaquin and I wouldn't see each other pretty much daily like we do now, I might see him at Rogers Place or somewhere, and I would walk up to him and say, "Hey, it's the crazy Canadian goalie." And he would laugh, and I would laugh, and people around us would be, What
are they talking about?
Why did Reid just insult Joaquin for no reason?
And why is Joaquin laughing?
Yeah, and we're like, oh yeah, that's that story. So that's why if you ever hear me call Joaquin the crazy Canadian goaltender, that's why. That's one of my favorite stories of all time.
There's got to be a way to find a copy of that.
I've looked. I think if you go on to the, what is it called? The aftonbladet.se, you can find certain articles. I got to go look. I'll see if I can find it.
We got to get that framed.
Yeah, we'll find that and print it up. All right, so you and I were having a fun chat, Joaquin, off air this week, and I don't even the completely random discussion, but we both found out that we're surprisingly passionate about this. You more than me. All right, so explain how you would change. And people will know this, but then you and I started discussing the potential fallout from it, which is where it got really fun. But to intro it, explain how you would change the National Hockey League points distribution and standings.
Okay, here we go. I don't care about history in this case because no one who remembers how many points a team actually finished with, it doesn't matter. So what Reid and I, when we take over the league, is the first thing we're going to implement is you are going to now get 3 points for a win, 0 points for a loss in regulation time. Okay? If you're tied after that period, and you go to the 3-on-3 overtime, 2 points for a win, 0 points for the loss in overtime. You're not winning. That's it. If it's still tied after the 3-on-3, you go to the shootout. Winning team gets 2, and because it's a skills competition, not really realistic, you get 1 point in the shootout. But the reasoning I think we came up for that is that we get into the doldrums of, late January and February, and you get a bottom feeder team against a top team on a Wednesday night. But as you progress through the season, I think you're going to get times where you'll see teams tied, coming down the stretch, and they're pulling their goalie, trying to get that 3 points. I mean, you go on a roll, all of a sudden a team that's way back can fight back into a playoff spot instead of not playing meaningful games from March on. I think it works perfectly.
I think it's time to do it. Every other league and tournament pretty much does it. I guess outside of North America. All the international hockey tournaments do it now. World Juniors do it. So it's not that Canadian fans haven't been exposed to it. And I agree, Gager, it adds another element of intrigue to regular season games. Well, okay, so a team could have a 4-game winning streak, but if all 4 of them were in overtime and another team went 3-1 but had regulation wins, they would have had a better week, a better 4-game stretch, or maybe catch up to that team.
Exactly. And the only advantage really obviously it's the 2 points playing against a team in the regular season, but it really means a lot in your own division now, right? That's where it really makes up for a lot of, they talk about the 4-point game, stealing 3 points from the other division too could be huge coming. And I think there's something needs to change. We see all these rule changes. We saw basketball in-season tournament, these other things that other leagues are starting to do to spice things up. Look at how close all these games are right now in the NHL. Like Calgary comes back, and you see there's a lot of parity. And I think it's a good time to do it before they start expanding and adding more teams. I just think this is a way to keep everything competitive, and I think for the most part, that's what fans want. If you ask players, and that's what they want, just a chance to compete. Because as you know, most teams, if they just get into the playoffs, there's a chance they could go all the way.
Well, and that's what it's all about, is that the leagues will tell you that they want to keep as many teams in it as long as possible. Yeah. That's why baseball's expanded. It's made the division smaller and more playoff teams. The NFL, went from 6 to 7 in each conference. The NBA's gone to the play-in. Besides the in-season tournament, they also have allowed the 9th and 10th place teams to have that sort of page playoff chance to get in. So in the NHL, without expanding the playoff format, you could keep more teams alive by increasing the number of points available.
I think so.
There'd always be that what if. And we were talking about a scenario. So the team that's in 8th place is idle, and the team that's in 9th place is 3 points behind. If it's tough 4-4 late in the game, they have to pull their goalie. They have to pull their goalie. And I know that happened. Like Jay was mentioning that weird scenario with, was it Philly, Detroit, and Washington on the final day of the season. But that would even add another layer to it because the coaches are in the air. It's like, okay, hang on, they're probably going to go to overtime, so then they can only get 2. So we just got to get our two. Like, it would just
I think it would be great. I think it would just a little mental math for.
It seems like it's a very welcomed idea across the board, but is it just that the NHL is too stuck in its way?
I think a little bit. Like,
you know what I mean?
Always when it was brought up to. When I heard Bettman, and this is years ago talking about that, he actually mentioned, the record books and having a team finish with 170 points, that'll just look weird.
Who cares?
I agree.
I'm not.
It's a different era. Call it the 3-point era.
What guy is looking at, they finished with 122. That was a good.
And you don't think these stats geeks out there would figure it out pretty quick and make it the old way of scoring? Just say, back in the day, this would only been 110 points.
If it bugs you that much, make the Excel spreadsheet so you feel better about yourself. But fans, I think, would love knowing that we got 4 games remaining. There's a possibility if we win 2, we can leapfrog the 8th place team, and there's a chance we get in. Instead of going, this team needs to win the next 5 to get it. I just think it's close enough now, and you would just see leapfrogging every single night.
It
would be
odd,
awesome.
though, that's like the traditional point, total for a win is 2 points. Right?
Yeah.
Like across NBA, NFL, CFL, most sports.
And that's why I would have even the overtime, no points to the loser, because that makes it even more important, because maybe they're playing someone that if they get a point, they're still out. Like that's the team getting against. So you can leapfrog them and they get nothing. So you would see them pull their goalie for sure at that point.
Yeah, and as I've gotten older too, I've cared less about the record book. You remember who wins, you remember who was good. I don't remember every single stat like I used to. And if somebody argues, well, what about the record book? Well, then the family of Maurice Richard should be, don't forget, when he got 50 goals in 50 games, that was the entire season.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd be like, well, our grandfather would have had 80 goals if we would have played a full season. He doesn't get credit for that. So, yeah, I don't worry too much about how it might alter the records.
Record books are great for trivia and the people that got the records. That's about it. Otherwise, why are you really interested in it?
I don't know. Maybe it's a coffee table book to look at and go, yeah.
Yeah, you could say that, sure.
Right? But I don't.
And now with Google, it's like, well, who scored the most?
Yeah.
It comes out. How many points did you get in your career?
Like, assists?
Yeah.
I think
my God.
In the NHL,
oh my God. Is that a weird, odd question?
It's funny. This is one of my, I have some records in the NHL. Aren't too flattering, but they're impressive. You quiet over there. Jesus. But I think there's a handful of goalies who recorded a point in their first game. It's like 7. And I'm one of them. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
I was very offensive.
Yeah.
Just moving the puck. So I didn't realize it was one of your first games.
That was my first game.
Yeah, that's cool.
Forehand pass. Did you Mike Smith?
No, I think it was just a kick save and a beauty. But there were like 8 shots before that because I couldn't control the rebound. So let's look at it that way. But no, I think I kicked it. I'd have to look, but I know Shane Corson went in and scored. It's not like I started the game. Fred Brathwaite was struggling. I went in the second period, and because we were still in the playoff hunt. It was the last couple games of the season, and I thought that the roof was going to blow off in Rexall or Northlands or whatever because they announced the goal. It was, I made a couple saves, so everyone was into it, but they announced me as the second assist.
Yeah.
They were like, and I've said this before, I thought, oh my gosh, this league's a joke. It's all Vezinas and Stanley Cups from here on in.
Here I go, baby.
Away you go. Yeah. I know you've been talking a lot about on your show with Hernan, but Salas guy, where is he? I start calling him Hernan as a joke, and now I say it incorrectly all the time. Hernan. Look, they didn't score. They didn't defend well. I think Chicago is more beatable than the Jets. What do you look for in the first 5 to 10 minutes tomorrow where you would think, okay, they've already flushed that one against the Jets?
Pulse?
Just, I mean, I'd like to see them assert their dominance on teams that they should. Not that, like, you look at that Blackhawks lineup, there's some good veterans. They have, obviously, Connor Bedard, who's a very skilled goal scorer. But I just want to see them wear them down. Like, there's no way, and I said it on our show before, it's not like they need to go crazy, but they need to match the intensity, which I don't think there was much of in that first game. They need to match the execution level, which was nowhere close to the Winnipeg Jets. And if that's the case against a team like the Chicago Blackhawks, there's no way that they would have to get goalied in this situation where the skill level will eventually take over and it'll be lights out.
So you're guaranteeing a win tomorrow?
No, gosh, no. I you know what? I don't. They showed the last game. I mean, they handled the Blackhawks quite easily last year, but you've got it lines up good for the Blackhawks to come in here. I mean, there's 2 players that had good times while they played with the Edmonton Oilers that play for the Blackhawks now, and Hall and the Big Rig. So, yeah, they're looking to kind of
spoil the
pea on the fire, so to speak.
Yeah. Do you think that the Oilers forwards, like the top guns, do you think, and I know it's one game, okay, but I mean, you sit in that seat right there. You saw the vitriol that was spewed and the amount of, negativity, and deservingly so, okay? They're fans, they pay money, they support, they can have their say, obviously. Do you think the big dogs like Connor McDavid, who didn't even register a shot in that game, do you think he got a little bit of a free pass?
Oh, I think the whole team got a free pass.
Yeah.
But that's got to end. That's part of that's got to filter through the leadership group first, coaching staff, the assistant coaches, and then I think Knoblauch has to come in, not lower the boom, but go, look, that's not acceptable. Like we have a plan here of getting back to where we were before. We have to do it in increments. Then I think he did say one of the things on the visionary board of the Edmonton Oilers is a 50-win season, right? So you can't get 50 before you get 1. So it starts with 1, and they go from there. But I think they're the oldest team in the league. You don't need to hoot and holler at this point, right? You don't need that. These guys should be able to handle themselves. I'm looking for a good weekend. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't be 2-1 after Sunday night.
Gager, thanks for sticking around. Love having you. Have a great Thanksgiving.
I'll try.
And people were enjoying your stories. I think you actually got more reaction to getting an assist than you did to beating that kid up.
Oh, well, they didn't see the fight. I was quite good.
He had it coming.
Yeah, if only we had YouTube then.
I know. Actually, it was on YouTube. It got taken down. Too violent.
The kid's family.
Warning. May have sensitive content.
Yeah.
That is Joaquin Gage, our good friend and colleague here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Another good friend and colleague is the Coob with a sports update.
Raphael Lavoie has been reclaimed off waivers for the fourth time in 6 days, and this time Vegas reclaims him to reassign him to the Henderson Silver Knights of the AHL. It's Oilers Blackhawks tomorrow with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Stallis live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre-game show at 7 o'clock right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. 3 games on today with Blackhawks and Jets, the Blues against the Golden Knights, and the Canucks battling the Flyers. It was Elks quarterback McLeod Bethel-Thompson receiving a fine for breaking the CFL Code of Conduct after calling out the refs after the Riders game. This was Thompson's 3rd violation of the code, and he is one of 6 players today handed fines. Tomorrow, the Elks visit the Stamps with Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne getting you set on the Green and Gold kickoff show just an hour before the action at noon. It's CFL Week 19 kicking off today with the Bombers hosting the Argos. And in the NFL, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith of the Eagles will play while Russell Wilson is off the IR for the first time this season. This Patriots running back Ramondre Stevenson ruled out for Sunday's game during Drake May's first NFL start at quarterback. Taysom Hill of the Saints won't play, while Alvin Kamara and Rashid Shaheed are in for New Orleans. In MLB playoff action, it's winner takes all with Padres-Dodgers Game 5, and winner of that game moves on to face the Mets. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues after these messages. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Fly Away to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Fly Away keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for 2, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Fly Away to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store, or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of The Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Great to have Joaquin Gage stick around for a segment here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. We are on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. If you are consuming the show on YouTube, Well, I apologize. You have to look at me.
Oh, Reid, don't
Give us a thumbs up. If we get to 100 thumbs up, we get the other half of the recently expired mayonnaise from Dustin Nielsen for our breadcrumbs.
Thank you, my liege.
My liege. That's an underused word.
I
my
like
liege.
that word.
If you can also listen, of course, through EdmontonSportsTalk.com on the iHeartRadio app or through TuneIn, the app as well. We're pleased to be coming to you here from our palatial global headquarters on Edmonton's West End. How are you doing, buddy? You ready for Thanksgiving?
I am excited. Yeah. It's
You got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
for a bit.
That's kind of
Talking about a football game.
You're talking about work. You're talking about what? You're talking about me going to a casino and watching a football game?
Are you going to bet on the horses?
Of course.
Maybe I'll give you a couple bucks.
Sure.
To place a wager for me.
Think you can open that wallet?
It's tough.
It's tight.
It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough.
Tight.
It is. I always used to chat with Jack Michaels, of course, who calls. Well, he's on Sportsnet way more than he's on Ched anymore. But Jack, of course, from Pennsylvania, and he always are. And I don't know if you've ever met Jack, Jay.
Yeah.
But if you've ever heard him, he's very opinionated, and he'll share it. But he was very opinionated that Canadians do Thanksgiving incorrectly.
Oh?
Yeah, because he said, why do you have the holiday on the Monday? You know, like everybody gets together on the Monday and then you get to go back the next day. And I said, well, I think people vary the day on which they
Nobody
get together.
Gets together on the Monday.
Having said that,
maybe they
rarely.
do.
My extended family meal this year is Monday at 1. And I think it'll probably won't extend beyond mid-afternoon. I would think most people do it Sunday afternoon or
most
night.
Most people that are traveling, or if, let's say,
Right.
you got to go to Calgary for it, it'll happen on the Sunday so that you can properly enjoy it, spend time together, and then not have to go to work the next day.
His argument was, though, that the Americans with the 4-day weekend, he said Canada should do that, have it Thursday through Sunday. I think he might have even argued one year to have the Grey Cup that weekend or something like that. But the Americans do it because do most Americans have their big meal on the Thursday, like the first day when everybody's together, and then they shop on the Friday?
Yes, they do.
And
because
then
that's the big day.
Right.
Because there's football on all day, and that is as a Canadian, I love that holiday.
Because you can be at work, and remember in university, you'd get home from classes mid-afternoon and watch the second game or whatever.
You and I are going to be watching football all day that day.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Maybe we should make a turkey.
Well, I think have a turducken.
We got a
We got a toaster oven.
Toaster oven.
We could cook a turkey, a mini turkey, or one of the half turkeys.
Maybe
or
I'll bring
baby
in
turkey. What do you call a baby turkey?
Daisy the duck.
Turkey.
Maybe.
Oh, there's Daisy the duck's fate, everybody.
By that time, Daisy will be of appropriate
nice
size.
and fattened up.
Yeah, we'll bring her in for a feast.
780-218-9999 is the EST inbox. You can also jump into the nasty chat on YouTube. Thanks to the people who are already in there and having some fun with Gager's interview and talking about Thanksgiving. We have plenty more Oilers chat throughout the show. We can tell you the headlines today is that it looks like it'll be the same lineup tomorrow against Chicago in terms of the personnel. The alignment appears like it'll be different, with Travis Dermott playing with Darnell Nurse and Ty Emberson playing with Brett Kulak. Again, I'm surprised because I thought after last game, it didn't go very well. You really only have one person to make a change with. So will Troy Stecher come into the lineup? No, apparently not.
Are you more surprised that there's no Stecher? Or are you more surprised that they snip-snapped the bottom two pairing in defense?
I'm more surprised that there's no Stecher.
Yeah.
I just thought you would put him in. He was here last year. He worked through an injury. I thought he was, fine in the preseason. I'm surprised he's not getting a look in the lineup tomorrow. But
and you know what, Reid? Maybe there's good reason for this. So to not overreact to what was a poor defensive effort for the entire team.
Yes.
Right? You can't just place the blame on 4 defensemen or 2 defensemen.
No, true.
Right? So maybe this is a steady hand move by the coaching staff.
Yeah, we'll see. But he's been pretty
Is that YouTube
willing.
Trev?
What is YouTube Trev doing?
Well, nobody else could see this right now. I'm just setting it up for
okay,
for
well,
later.
we'll set it up.
Okay.
Looks like he's starting his weekend now.
Yeah, that's good.
Way to
All
go,
right.
Trev.
I thought we had a guest on this. Somebody in the lineup was, or in the Dutch chat was joking. Does Reid know who's on the show today? I was off by 20 minutes, folks, with Hustler. I knew he was on the show.
That's what that was about.
I would think that's what's about.
That was Matt Hyman said, did he read the lineup today?
Well, not only did I read the lineup, I prepare the lineup. But that's the thing. I put Hustler in the wrong position
He
on
said,
the lineup.
has Reid seen the show description?
Yes, I have.
You know what was...
All right.
Yeah. We got into some music before here, and we might be working on something, folks, that's just going to
All right. Yeah.
tantillate you. Maybe it would be good for Fridays, too. You know? Set you up, in the right mood.
Yeah, well,
for
it
the
wouldn't
weekend.
have to be even music. It could be anything that you get me to talk about. We want to do the off-topic topic right now for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading graphics with design, print, and install all in-house for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be is what they call the William Huff advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. We teased this late in yesterday's show. Who is your favorite NFL team and why? Edmonton does not have an NFL team. There are some regional affiliations, though it's not as if we're in a short or medium driving distance even to a team. So who do you cheer for and give us the why? I told my story yesterday of why I started cheering for the Seahawks. It actually had nothing to do with them being on TV a lot. It had to do with me knowing I was going to a game in 2004. So I started following the team and paying closer attention to them with Matt Hasselbeck and Mike Holmgren and Sean Alexander and that era of players. Who's and you had a Washington jersey as a kid, just randomly.
Yeah, it was like a real old jersey, kind of like what Gager was saying about his Cowboys jersey.
Right.
And it was like some Art Monk or something jersey from the Redskins days and just stuck with me. And now I've got Jayden Daniels and things are looking up.
All right. Do we have the tweet ready to go, Coop? So last night, I'll be honest with you, everybody, I didn't even notice the Northern Lights. You know why? Because I'm so grounded, I don't look up. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But so last night, there were some spectacular photos, including this one taken by Jay Milne. Oh, you just have the photo, eh? You don't have the whole tweet you can show? Because that's what we were joking about this morning. If you can get it. But first of all, before we get into what you wrote, give everybody the lowdown on the photo. That looks really cool.
Yeah, well, it was getting. My wife was at basketball practice with my middle daughter, and then we saw Northern Lights while they were there. And then when they got home, they were gone. They were gone for a brief moment. So they were. My middle daughter loves the Northern Lights, so she was kind of choked. So, anyways, we put them to bed, and this is about 9:30. They start coming out again. So, like, hey, we got to go get the girls so they can all see this.
Right.
So this is about 9:30, and then the sky just lit up. It was crazy. So my wife, she took probably 180 photos in 5 minutes. This was one of them, which is if you can't see, if you're not watching on YouTube, it's a picture of her basketball hoop from the ground up towards the Northern Lights. It almost looks angelic.
It's amazing. I feel foolish I missed this last night, but I've seen the Northern Lights before. I don't remember ever seeing them that green. Like, that's pretty incredible. Like that sparkling green almost.
The lights, the colors were amazing. So I sent this out as a tweet. And here's the thing, okay? When you're and I said I mean already today I made up a new word, tantillate.
Yeah.
I meant to say tantalizing. So sue me. I shot my shot and it didn't work out. This is what happens when you shoot your shot on Twitter and it doesn't hit. It didn't land. I was making a joke that this picture should be called, because it's got the basketball in it. And then, Dominique Wilkins, Wilkins, because I've named other photos around my yard after you. But this one just didn't work.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one?
Mowing my lawn. I took a picture of my beautifully manicured lawn, and I said it was Reid's Wilkin.
Well, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Thank you, though.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for noticing. And I said, so I said, it shall be named Dominique Wilkins.
Right.
And I thought this was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I thought, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And Reid came in this morning and said, so, am I missing something? Or who's Dominique Wilkins? Yeah, so clearly the wording of it was terrible. I take full responsibility for it. Like I said, I thought I was making a funny joke.
Well, I understood the reference to Dominique Wilkins, but then this morning I was saying, what further did you mean by that? Like, why would it be me in the Northern Lights with the basketball hoop?
Those that know, I should have tagged it EST Farm Report too.
Right.
Because those that have seen my lawn photos that I've taken would have caught on that I've named another photo after you, my idol.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Nonetheless, it's a great photo. We'll focus on the positive, which is it's a great photo. And there were several thousands of spectacular photos spread across social media last night this morning.
Negro says, I just assumed you were loaded.
Yeah, well, also possible. I mean, it was quite late. And oddly enough, I was on Twitter when you tagged me, so I got the little notification immediately, and I thought, what's going on? I was like, oh, Jay tagged me in something, and then I saw that. I was like, oh, what? Did he mean to tag me in this?
No.
It took me a few seconds. Oh, Dominique. Okay, that's sort of my name.
Hey.
I interviewed Dominique Wilkins.
Thanks, great.
Did I tell you this?
No.
Do you want to know the story? It's sad. It's kind of sad.
Is it?
Well, it was weird.
Why?
So, because I would always joke. Well, not always. I had a stretch where I would introduce myself and say no relation to Dominique, or I'd say I'm Dominique's distant cousin or something like that. So then one day, Dave Campbell and I are sitting around, and we said, why don't we just see if we can get Dominique on? So I found the Atlanta Hawks alumni relations email or phone number. I think I talked to somebody, and they said he's an ambassador for our team. He loves doing interviews. Call him at this time. Here's his cell phone number. Call him. It wasn't during my show. It was a pre-tape. But they said call him at this time. So I called him. I was like, hey, Dominique, it's Reid Wilkins from Edmonton for the radio interview. Who? What's going on? Oh, I'm sorry. I talked to whoever with the Hawks, and we have the same last name, and I kind of joke about that, and he said you'd be available for an interview. Oh. Okay, yeah, let's just do it now.
Really?
Yes. I don't think he knew about it, or he forgot, or he didn't care. But I interviewed him. I still got to interview Dominique Wilkins.
Why was it sad?
Well, it wasn't sad, I guess. It was just awkward.
Awkward.
It could have been a more energetic interview, I suppose. I think he was just kind of going through the motions. Yeah. All right.
We've got lots of people getting involved here. To end that, I tried to be funny.
And usually you are, quite frankly. You made me laugh several times today.
And it's, anybody can be their biggest critic. That just didn't land. It didn't hit. It didn't play well. To that, I apologize for taking up your time. I will be better. Sully in the EST inbox says, I'm a Vikings fan, and I'm one because when I was in high school, my brother bought me a Randy Moss jersey.
Oh, neat.
So because of that, I started following them now, and I love them. Go Vikings. Skol. Yeah. Adam in Quebec City. I'm a Rams fan, and it goes back to Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, Marshall Faulk, et al. That made the greatest show on turf. The 1999 Super Bowl with The Yard cemented my Rams fandom.
Yeah, I could see how that era would have won some people over. Bronco Nick in the Nasty Chat. My team is the Broncos. I started liking them as a kid, as I liked the way John Elway played when he was drafted. By who?
Miami, wasn't it?
The Colts.
He wouldn't go.
Yeah,
He
right. Wouldn't go. But that I imagine we'll get a lot of that too. People who were drawn in by a player or a good era of the team. We talked yesterday how there'd be a lot of Patriots fans in the last 20 years who like Tom Brady. We'll keep going with that. You can also give your thoughts on if Canadians do Thanksgiving properly, which is the way it's on the calendar. More on the Oilers, of course. Jordin Tootoo scheduled to join us at the top of the hour. His documentary plays at Rogers Place tonight. And we'll also just go over again something Trey Ford said on the show yesterday. But first, Zach Kubish for Paramount Flooring and a sports update.
Rafael Ova is on the move again, this time being reclaimed by the Vegas Golden Knights, who assign him to the Henderson Silver Knights of the AHL. Oilers host Blackhawks tomorrow, and you can tune in to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas at 7 o'clock here on Edmonton Sports Talk. The Blackhawks are in action today with the Jets before it's the Blues facing the Golden Knights and the Canucks against the Flyers. CFL Week 19 kicks off with the Argos visiting the Bombers in Winnipeg, and tomorrow the Elks play the Stamps. Join Matthew Wanick and Jay Milne on the Green and Gold kickoff show an hour before the game at noon to set you up for the matchup. In the NFL, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith of the Eagles will play, and Russell Wilson is off the injury reserve for the first time this season. Patriots top running back Ramondre Stevenson is ruled out this Sunday during Drake May's first NFL start. Taysom Hill of the Saints won't play, while Alvin Kamara and Rashid Shaheed are in for New Orleans. In the MLB playoffs, Game 5 of the Padres-Dodgers series goes to decide who moves on to meet the Mets. This sports update has been brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Paramount Flooring is your full-service flooring and tile provider. Proudly family-owned and operated for 33 years, they provide flooring to fit your lifestyle and budget. Whether you're a homeowner, renovator, or builder, Paramount Flooring has got what you're looking for. Visit their showroom that's open 7 days a week at 10707 184th Street. That's 10747 184th Street. Paramount Flooring. Flooring for the life that you live. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish for your sports update.
The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate our grand opening with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Enjoy exclusive grand opening discounts and incredible giveaways on a vast selection of unique, high-quality furniture for every room. Specializing in Canadian-made custom pieces you won't find anywhere else, Sit and Sleep brings you unparalleled style and comfort. Grand opening celebrations are on now at Edmonton's newest and trendiest furniture store, Sit and Sleep in South Common, next to Planet Fitness.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of Injury Law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
It's crunch time for your taste buds, because for a limited time, A&W is collaborating with Ruffles to bring you the Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger, your favorite teen burger, and your favorite Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips, combined into one unique taste sensation. It's grass-fed beef. It's one-of-a-kind ridges and crunch. Try it in all its teen burger glory, or crunch into its equally tasty sidekick, the Ruffles Crunch Buddy Burger, for just $4.99. Try one today at your neighborhood A&W.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website, edmontonsportstalk.com.
We got your turkey right here. We are in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com today and book your private consultation. Yes, Jordin Tootoo joining us in about 14 to 16 minutes. He's in town for his documentary that shows tonight at Rogers Place. We had one of the producers of that film, Adam Scorgi, on the show. Was that Tuesday? It was a great segment whenever it was.
Yeah.
Ryan Rishaug is going to hop on the show a little bit after 5. We'll have more on the Edmonton Oilers. More of your feedback on the text line and in the nasty chat. The off-topic topic is, who is your favorite NFL team and why? Did somebody say the Bengals striped helmets already?
Yeah, that was VR. My team are the Bengals. Hey, have a great weekend. Happy Thanksgiving, Gager. Gobble, gobble. My team are the Bengals because Tigers are the best and big cats, and the helmets are radical. Also, Ocho Cinco made me laugh.
That's funny. 780-218-9999. If you are on YouTube, give us a thumbs up to help us grow the program, which we appreciate. All right, so we just want to sort of revisit one thing here because I think it's, I don't know, is significant overstating it? We asked Trey Ford the question that had to be asked, right? Because what's the perception for a lot of people? I don't even know if it's a lot of people, but there's a perception with Trey Ford. Well, I think it is with a lot of people. The degree that people might feel this might vary, but there's the perception that he has been either outright mishandled and or disrespected, or maybe on the other end of the scale is that at least he hasn't been given as many shots as he could have as the quarterback for the Elks. Now, there has been injuries that have kept them out, but he did finish last season with 4 wins in his 10 starts, which isn't a great record, but it was better than the 0-8 they had before he came in. And then this year, he doesn't really get a chance to play until they're in the process of losing their 7th game. And then he plays and wins, and then he plays and gets hurt. Was that right before halftime against BC in a game which they were winning and probably still would have won if he played the whole way. So here's the sort of the key question we asked yesterday and Ford's response. Some people, I'm not saying everybody, but some people sometimes say, I don't think Trey's gotten enough of a chance from the Elks. I don't know if a coach or manager or whoever has treated him fairly and given him a shot. When you hear something like that, how would you respond to the people who believe that?
I mean, it's not really my call, right, to say how much I deserve to play or I shouldn't play or should play. It's not my decision ultimately. I just try to control what I can control, right? I mean, I feel like when I have played, I've played well, other than the Winnipeg game, right? I feel like that game obviously didn't go very well. It's not hard to see that. But I don't know. It's a fair question, but it's also a tough question. I don't want to speak for anybody or let anybody speak for me or however it goes. I'm just, trying to not get in trouble and just do my thing.
Okay. So, as he says, it's not my call on playing time. Okay, fair. It's up to the coaches. Control what I can control. That's standard athlete speak. He feels he has played well when he has played, except the Winnipeg game. I think most of us would agree that was a very poor game. And he said that's a fair but tough question. And then he said, I don't want to speak for anybody. So I almost feel like he's saying he's saying you have to ask the coaches why I haven't played. And when they've played, they usually say, well, we like him and we just feel if someone else gives us a better chance right now, or Trey's developing and learning and all this kind of stuff. He's going to play tomorrow against Calgary, 1:00 game, noon coverage, starts with the Green and Gold pregame show with Jay and Iwanek here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Yeah, clearly there's a disconnect between the coaching staff and Trey Ford. I don't want to get myself in trouble, was what he said. I think that tells you a lot right there. And obviously he feels like he's good enough to be the starter and good enough to be the face of this organization. Now the question here is, has he gotten a fair shake or is he deserving of a fair shake? Mm-hmm. Right? And from what we've seen with our very own eyes, sure, there's been times where, wow, Trey Ford's electric. Trey Ford can fit that ball into the perfect spot. Trey Ford can throw from the pocket. And then there's Winnipeg Jets Trey Ford, where nothing was really happening and nothing seemed easy. Mm-hmm. Everything was being fought. So the sample size is so small. And it's hard to commit to a player long-term or re-sign a player if you don't have complete faith in him. And the coaching staff currently clearly does not.
Right. And the question for a lot of fans is why. They don't understand that because it's been almost 4 complete seasons of really poor football by the Elks. A terrible winning. I mean, this will be their most wins in a year. I guess they only played 14 games in 2021, but still they only went 3-11. So, and to me, that's the frustration. So last year, Ford shows promise. He was great at times. As we've talked about, he did not look as good against the better teams, which you might expect from a younger quarterback on a team that wasn't very good overall either. And then they sign MBT in the offseason, so that immediately pushes Ford down. Jones won't put him in. Jackson won't put him in for a while. I know there's some debate about why that is, and did Ford himself play a role in that? But now, but here's what I'm saying, is if you would have started Ford this season, like sign a capable backup. I'm not saying just make him the only quarterback that can play, but maybe sign a capable backup, play Ford, and hey, you know what? If they're what's their record right now? 5-11? If they're 5-11 and he's played all 16 games, well, then then you have information. Instead, we're still sitting here saying we don't really know. The last 2, at least I feel I don't really know. The Winnipeg game was a demarcation point, but again, he didn't. If he's the starter all season and then can't handle that game, then that tells you even more. Even then, he's coming back from injury after missing a month or 5 weeks or whatever it was, and doesn't play well, and then is immediately out of the lineup. If the Elks beat Calgary tomorrow and he goes off, again, we're going to be saying, well, that's the worst Calgary team in our lifetime that he beat. So again, what are we really finding out? Very, very frustrating situation to me.
Yeah, and maybe a guy like, and I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for McLeod Bethel Thompson. There are reports that he doesn't need to play football. He's not doing this for the money.
Right.
So is he going to be coming back? At what rate? At what contract would he come back? Because he'd be a very serviceable backup. McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Yes.
Then you could say, let's run this back, but reversed. Or compete for it in training camp. I'd like to see that too. Say, hey, we don't know who it is. Now, there's so many tangibles here because there's no club president. There's no GM. We don't know who the head coach is going to be. Right?
Yep.
But do you think Trey Ford is going to want to come back to Edmonton if Jarius Jackson is still the head coach here? I highly doubt it.
Right. But again, we don't know for sure because as I've been saying, we still don't really know what kind of interest he would get on the I'm sure he'd get interest. Would someone pay him to be a starter?
No.
We don't really know.
No.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not. How could you? There's no record or stats that would say, ooh, this is a bona fide starting quarterback in the CFL. He'd be a serviceable backup that could be a project, but then again, you're already in that position here.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe if they crumple everything up, throw it in the garbage and start over, which I think Larry Thompson is going to do because you don't get these grenade options all that often. I don't know. Nobody's going to give him that kind of money, though.
Elks tomorrow. It will be for. Is it Schultz for the Stamps?
Yes, it is.
He started, and he was hurt too, right? But I know a lot of Stamps fans were like, "We wish we could have seen more of this guy."
Yeah.
This season. All right. After the break and the sports update, we will connect with former NHLer and the focal point of a new documentary, Jordin Tootoo, ahead on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they're the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
GCI
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Raphael Lavoie gets claimed off waivers for the fourth time in 6 days, and this time Vegas picks him up for purpose of reassignment to the Henderson Silver Knights of the AHL. It's Oilers Blackhawks tomorrow. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7, just an hour before puck drop, here and only here on Edmonton Sports Talk. 3 games on today with Blackhawks and Jets. The Blues against the Golden Knights and the Canucks battling the Flyers. It was Gavin Podnet being named the 16th captain in Edmonton Oil Kings franchise history. Tomorrow, the Elks visit the Stamps with Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne getting you set for the game on the Green and Gold kickoff show just an hour before the action at noon. Today, in CFL Week 19, the Bombers host the Argos for the lone game today. In the NFL, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith of the Eagles will play, and Russell Wilson is off the IR for the first time this season. Patriots top running back Ramondre Stevenson is ruled out for Sunday's game during Drake May's first NFL start. Taysom Hill of the Saints won't play either, with Alvin Kamara and Rashid Shaheed in for New Orleans. It's winner takes all with Padres-Dodgers Game 5, and the winner of that game moves on to face the Mets. In a few moments, former NHLer Jordin Tootoo joins the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, which continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
All right, hope you're having a great Friday afternoon into the Thanksgiving long weekend. Of course, Oilers, a couple of home games. We will talk more about those as we move along. Elks in Calgary, as we were telling you. Oil Kings home games tomorrow at 2 and Monday at 2. Golden Bears hockey home games tonight at 7 and tomorrow at 2. So those and many, many other local teams to follow. We will connect with Jordin Tootoo here right away. He's in Edmonton, spending most of the day promoting the documentary, which then screens at Rogers Place tonight at 7. I'm lucky enough to be going to that. Speaking of Elks quarterback McLeod Bethel-Thompson, fined for the third time this season for criticizing the league, this time for criticizing the officiating. That Javon Leake goal line catch that was reviewed and overturned. He called it bogus and a ridiculous call. He was fined a couple other times earlier this season for criticizing the schedule and a lack of concern for player safety by the league. I didn't know this. Apparently, the league's maximum fine under the CBA is half a game check. So at most, he's been fined a game and a half. I don't know if the fines would be that much. They don't disclose them. Is there a point, though, where you just have to just not do it? Just don't show that you're upset about it or pick your spots if you're going to do that, even as a veteran?
I just was talking about McLeod Bethel-Thompson, and by the sounds of it, money is not a major motivator to him.
Fair enough.
Clearly, by doing that, by repeatedly speaking out and accepting fines, okay. You put your money where your mouth is, I suppose.
I guess. All right. Anyway, a little bit of an update there. We are pleased to be joined by former NHLer, and of course, he is featured in the new documentary Tootoo, the Jordin Tootoo story. Jordin Tootoo checking in. Jordin, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, guys. Thank you for having me today.
All right. Yeah, we'll just get that audio fixed there. Jordin, tell everybody how your day has been. I think it's been pretty busy for you promoting this film, eh?
Yeah, it's been a pretty hectic day here with Scorgie. He's been touring me around the city, and it's been great. Looking forward to a fantastic evening and sharing our family story, and hopefully people can relate.
We had Adam on a show a few days ago, and I've been interviewing him for years, and I asked him his perspective as a filmmaker and a producer, how this idea got off the ground. What about from your perspective as the subject of the film? Where did this really start going, and to the point where you thought, I think this is a reality here. I think this is actually going to get put on screen.
Yeah, and I've been approached a number of times by different film companies and whatnot, and this was when I was still playing, so the time wasn't right. And then in retirement, I just wanted a couple of years to kind of wind down and reflect on my career and refocus on my family. And when Adam and his crew approached me, everything just kind of fell into place. And, it took a few months for us and my family to really feel comfortable talking in front of a camera. And I think it's been the greatest thing that's ever happened to the Tootoo family, because it's brought us closer together, and I think going forward here, it's only going to make our relationship stronger.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, and it leads into what I wanted to talk to you about as well. Adam gave us a little bit of a preview, in terms of a couple scenes we can expect, and he said there's going to be some tear-jerking moments, and I believe he said, in your family and in your hometown, in your community, sometimes people don't talk about stuff that has happened or bad things that have happened. And talking about what happened to your brother, this was kind of a first for a lot of them. Was that a hurdle to get over? Did you have to balance, okay, we want to get this story out there, but knowing there might be some pain in talking about it along the way, or how was that process for you?
Well, I think for first and foremost, this is a story that is well prevalent in our Indigenous communities, and not only in the Indigenous communities, in the city limits also. People don't realize that we all fight a fight no one knows about until we open up. We are honest with each other and comfortable and content in your own skin. And this whole process, it's been about a 2.5 year process for us. It's really opened up those communication lines, because we all know the older generation, we've always been told to shut up and put up with it. And, times have changed, and we all evolve as humans. And in order to grow, you have to evolve. So for me, I wasn't, okay with just being okay. There's always room for betterment. And for me personally, I give a lot of credit to my mom and dad for finding the courage to speak, finding courage to share their experiences, because we're only one family story. So hopefully this whole process will it's a tearjerker, but at the same time it ends on a great note, and I'm looking forward to seeing people's reactions.
Of course, hockey is such a major part of your life, as it was for Terrence. Do you think things have changed in the hockey community and the National Hockey League about the perception of being able to speak up if you're going through something? Is it more accepted? Has a good amount of progress been there in getting people the help they need?
Absolutely. It's definitely has been a lot better compared to when I broke into the league, and for a lot of former NHLers who have battled and gone through probably far worse experiences, but we're never able to shed light on it and talk about it, because at the end of the day, in the professional world, you're just a number. And for me personally, I didn't want to air out my laundry because I felt my career was on the line. And so a lot of us kept quiet. In today's generation, everyone's talking about mental health, and I think that's a great thing.
We are joined by former NHLer Jordin Tootoo here on the Reid Wilkins Show. You got Jay here, Jordin. You played a hard-nosed, aggressive style of play. And, from your recollection, who was a player or players that you played against that you thought brought out that style of play the best?
Well, I'm sure many of you heard of the name Mike Danton,
yeah.
St. Louis Blues. We all know his story, and we were very similar players, unpredictable, which is very scary for any opponent. And so, early in my career, I was that player, but it started becoming unpredictable to my own teammates with my off-ice actions. And I knew, I think it was my fifth or sixth year in the league where, my off-ice antics really started to come to light. And if I didn't accept the help that was offered in 2010 by the Nashville Predators, Mr. Barry Trotz and David Poyle, I probably wouldn't be here today. So I am truly humbled and grateful for that gift that they offered me.
Now, I've got to take the opportunity to get your insight as a former NHL player, talking about the Oilers now. And that team came out and they laid an egg on Wednesday night in their season opener. What kind of approach? I mean, I'm sure you've had that experience as a professional athlete. What approach worked best in terms of how the coaching staff handled a game like that when those games happened during your career?
Everybody just take a deep breath. It's game one of the 82 season. There's a lot of inside things that your average fan doesn't see, and but the guys know in the dressing room. We hate losing. Period. And so, the Oilers will get back on track here in no time. I think they're playing my former team tomorrow night, the Chicago Blackhawks, so that should be a great test for them. But it's I always look at the role that I played. The third and fourth liners, got to chip in every now and then, and that's key to a lot of team success.
Jordin, just a couple more for you. It's Reid again here. I got to ask you this one about the current NHL, and you're not that far removed from playing in the league, 6-7 years. But I got to ask you, when you see the speed now, and I'm not just talking about McDavid, I mean, in the way, now I think truly kids have grown up without the red line and can get the puck up the ice with the stretch passes. What do you think of the speed of the game now? And where does it go next with how quick all these players are?
Wow, it's unbelievably fast out there. Watching it from up top, it looks fast. Imagine being on the ice and trying to keep up. For me, I was a pretty quick player, but also, you need the brains to go with it. So, there's it takes a lot of commitment. A lot of people underestimate our, hockey players' commitment to the game. It takes a lot out of you, and players are training almost 12 months of the year now, and these kids are bigger, stronger, faster. I couldn't imagine, playing in today's era. I probably wouldn't be able to hit any of these kids.
And Jordin, before we let you go, and thanks so much because I know it's busy, but besides promoting this film and spending a lot of time with our buddy Adam Scorgi, let everybody know what else you're up to these days and how you're keeping busy.
Yeah, so, my wife and I, Jennifer, we have 3 beautiful, healthy daughters. So being a girl dad has been a truly amazing experience to be able to watch them grow and be present on a day-to-day basis. It's, although I didn't hoist the Stanley Cup, I get to see 3 of my daughters walk out. And to me, those are my Stanley Cups. And on the other side of things, I enjoy rebuilding old school Broncos. I just finished building a 67 Bronco, and I'm on to my 68 Bronco. So any Bronco fans out there, they're hard to come by. Let me know.
Oh, wow. Okay. Then I got to ask a follow-up. How many have you rebuilt at this point?
I just, it took me 3.5, 4 years to build my 67. Wow. That was my first one. So, it got me all through COVID, and, she's up and going. We reside in Kelowna now. So it's a great summer beater.
Okay. What was it COVID? You were looking for something to do, or what inspired you to start that project?
Well, my dad Barney is kind of a jack of all trades. So I grew up wrenching with him on, quads and skidoos and whatnot. And obviously I lost touch when I moved away for hockey. And then when I retired, one of the first things I got was a hoist in my garage, and away I went, relearning and watching a lot of YouTube videos and learning to weld and fabricate and all that. It's been very soothing for me and mentally.
Why the Ford Bronco? What was the symbolism to that vehicle? This is great stuff. I love this part, but why the Ford Bronco, Jordin?
Come on. Everybody knows the old school first gen Broncos, right? They're a great summer vehicle. They have a lot of character. They're plain and simple. You got the front and rear diff, you got an engine and a chassis, and away you go.
Love it. All
right. Wow. Okay. Well, we extended the interview with a couple of questions because we didn't know the Bronco stuff was coming, but that's incredible. Jordin, thank you so much for this. I know it's a busy day for you, but hopefully it's a rewarding and fun day. And with the film coming up at 7:00 tonight at Rogers Place, I'm going to be there to watch it. Thanks to Adam. Really appreciate your time. All the best with the film, and all the best in all your other ventures, and of course with your family life too.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Right on. That is Jordin Tootoo checking in. That was outstanding. Thanks to Adam Scorgi for getting Jordin on the show. He told me when I was conversing with Adam yesterday, he shared Jordin's itinerary with me, and we found a window where he could come on with us. And man, oh man, I'm ever grateful that he did. First of all, really honest about the documentary, about what it's going to show about, him and his family and his struggles. And as we know, part of the story is that his brother Terrence took his own life in 2002. So that's going to be on the screen tonight. And then, I love what he's saying too about the speed of the game. And he goes, remember, you gotta have the brains too, right? And we know that's what makes McDavid so special. He can play at that pace and process the game. Some guys can skate pretty fast, but the processor isn't always keeping up. And then I had no idea we were getting the Ford Bronco stuff, because that's something I can't, I'm the least handy, least car knowledgeable person in the world. So when someone else tells me that they're doing that, I'm fascinated. That was awesome.
That is cool that he decided to take on the Ford Broncos, which is it's a simple, straight lines, kind of a classic SUV. So that's good that he's got that hobby, but you get the raw emotion. You can feel it. You can sense it in his voice. That what he's been through and the making of this has had its difficulties for sure. And Adam Scorgi shared that with us during his interview as well. But it'll be nice to see it all culminate tonight down at Ford Hall. I don't know if even there would be tickets left. Reid,
you'd have to check through Scorgi's Twitter account if there are, because when we had him on a couple of days ago, I think he said there was about 100. 3 days ago now, that was Tuesday. But yeah, you can keep an eye on Adam's Twitter account and Google as well, but where you can consume the film. But I'm really looking forward to seeing it tonight. Glad we got Jordin on, and was it Matt? Who was it that put that in the nasty chat? Matt Hyman, over 700 games played with his style is pretty impressive. And, and of course he, had to go into the NHLPA substance abuse program along the way as well. So he had to work through that. But yeah, 723 games, 161 points, 1,010 penalty minutes. And as we know, I wouldn't call Jordin purely a fighter. Like, he wasn't a goon, but he was a bit of a wrecking ball out there. And that's not an easy role to play. And I'm not suggesting in the NHL you can ever afford to take a night off because someone always wants your job. But ice time is at a premium. I mean, he's not going to be on one of the top two lines. So you got to go out and hit and contact every single night. I mean, as much as we like to say everybody gets involved all the time, I mean, there are some players a coach might say, he didn't throw a body check tonight. Oh, but he got a goal. But he got a goal and an assist. So I guess I can look the other way and not get too critical. I mean, if Jordin wasn't knocking people over or trying to, he was, again, like Matt said, for him to get over 700 games, close to 800 when you factor in the playoffs, it's pretty impressive. And again, to go through some of the other off ice battles he had too.
Well, and the reckless behavior where his teammates didn't even know which Jordin Tootoo was showing up on any given night. I mean, that's some serious stuff because all that's obviously had to be, been unpacked by him in some way mentally to be able to handle it. Zach's got the picture here. Does he have one up? Took with his family here of him and his restored Bronco. Look at that amazing unit. Yeah. It's up on his Twitter.
Okay, I had not seen that. I didn't really know until he brought it up during the interview. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
he's got it up 3.5, 4 years. Like, even just whether it's a vehicle or whatever, taking on a project that is probably going to take that long, I would have trouble with that. I'm more of I'd like to finish in the next couple of days if I can. Type thing.
Yeah,
that patience in itself.
That's truly retirement. Yeah. So if you go to universe.com, that's where you can still find tickets for this event tonight from 7 to 9 down at Rogers Place. Tickets starting at $35. So if you wanted to get down there and see the world premiere,
there's a few left. And it's actually, I've been saying Rogers Place. It's actually in Fort Hall. They're actually showing it in Fort Hall.
Yeah,
right over top of 104th Ave, which is pretty neat.
Very neat.
Yeah. Okay. That was awesome to have Jordin Tootoo on the show here as we take you into your Thanksgiving weekend. We got my top 3 coming up. You're going to hear a little bit from Oilers head coach Kris Knoblauch. Ryan Rishaug will check in this afternoon. Here comes Zach Kubish with a sports update for Wheelers RV.
Raphael Lavoie is on the move again, this time being reclaimed by the Vegas Golden Knights, who assign him to the Henderson Silver Knights of the AHL. Oilers host the Blackhawks tomorrow, and you can tune in to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre-game show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas at 7 o'clock right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. The Blackhawks are in action today with the Jets before it's the Blues facing the Golden Knights and the Canucks against the Flyers. CFL Week 19 kicks off with the Argos visiting the Bombers in Winnipeg, and tomorrow the Elks play the Stamps. You can join Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne on the Green and Gold kickoff show just an hour before the action at noon. Gus Edwards is out for LA, while Justin Herbert of the Chargers and Devontae Smith and Alvin Kamara of the Saints are off the IR. Gavin Hodnett has been named as the 16th captain in Edmonton Oil Kings history. And in the MLB playoffs, Game 5 of the Padres-Dodgers decides who moves on to meet the Nets. This sports update has been brought to you by Wheelers RV and Boat Storage. Conveniently located 5 minutes east of St. Albert, Wheelers RV is your safe and secure place to store your RV, boat, or whatever it is you want to store. Visit them at WheelersRVStorage.com to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get one free. Go to WheelersRVStorage.com today and get your storage needs taken care of. Right after the break, it's the continuation of the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Experience. It's the EST Fly Away to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Fly Away keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for two, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Fly Away to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Okay. Thanks a lot for joining us, man. Oh, man. Great interview with Jordin Tootoo. Awesome to have him on the program as we are camped out in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com is the website. Book your private consultation today. Of course, Trent Brown, a former U of A Golden Bear safety, just like my colleague Jay Milne.
Hello.
Well, we'll have to have Trent on the show at some point.
Yeah, we got to catch up.
He's always fun. Elks in Calgary tomorrow, 1 o'clock game. We have coverage starting at noon with the Green and Gold kickoff show. That's with Jay Milne and Matthew Iwanek, and then they'll be on after the game. And then tomorrow night at 7, we have the Oil Stream pregame show with Gazzola and Salas, and then they're on after the game for the postgame show. 5 o'clock pregame show on Sunday for the 6 o'clock game against the Calgary Flames. So programming over the weekend. All right. 780-218-9999. Nasty Chat on YouTube. Appreciate the participation there. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com as well. We'll just give out my email. You don't have to give out both. If you have a limerick or anything else. I'll do a limerick right now. It is the weekend of Thanksgiving. Will the Oilers join the land of the living? 2 home games, Chicago and the Flames. Fans won't be thankful if the team isn't winning.
Lovely. I might as well continue on, right?
Oh, you got one too? Yeah,
sure.
Do it.
The Northern Lights were aglow last night. Many would agree it was quite the sight. I don't really know how they work. I could find out, but I must shirk. Turns out that Joaquin Gage won't turn down a winnable fight.
That's pretty good. I like the use of the word shirk.
Yeah.
Did we use that yesterday too?
We did.
Yeah, shirk's a good word.
Got to keep it, up.
I must shirk my responsibilities.
Got to keep it hot,
I got to keep it rolling along hot.
Hey, I didn't even get a chance to ask you. What's your Thanksgiving routine? What's the the Wilkie crew getting down with this weekend?
I would say there's no Thanksgiving routine. There's usually some sort of a family meal, like extended family, which there will be Monday. And a younger family member is hosting for the first time.
Ooh.
So that'll be kind of interesting, though I think it's somewhat potluck style. She asked my mother to make a dish. It was kind of funny. I don't mind telling. My cousin's probably not listening. My mom is, but she won't care. Nobody else in the family is listening. My cousin, so it's my mom's niece, I guess actually great niece, because this person's mother is my mom's niece.
Right. Okay.
So this person that's hosting would actually technically be my first cousin once removed, because it's my cousin's. But anyway, I just called them cousin. So this cousin asked my mom, "Can you make that broccoli and mushroom dish you always make?" And my mom was like, "I don't think I've ever made one for a family gathering, but mom found a recipe, is going to make it."
Oh, no.
I have been asked. Here's what I've been asked to bring. And I can actually cook. I mean, I know I'm a 50-year-old single man, and I, as you see, my mom's made my lunch 90% of the days or more that I've worked here at Edmonton Sports Talk, where I've gotten leftovers. But I actually can cook. But my cousins, so I asked, I'm in a group chat with this cousin that's hosting and her older sister that's a couple of years older. And I said, "What should I bring?" And they asked me to bring bread from the Brio bakery that's in my neighborhood.
Yes,
so tomorrow I got to line up at Brio to get sourdough bread first thing in the morning.
Oh, I knew you were going to get tasked with bread.
Yeah.
That means they have zero faith in your cooking skills.
They have zero faith in me. They know I can line up and buy something successfully. They have faith in my ordering skills, and I guess my improvisational skills if the bread that they want is sold out. But, yeah. So in Brio, so it's very close to where I live. And
Okay.
It's a very good bakery. And it's very popular. They're only open Wednesday to Saturday. And it's going to be busy tomorrow. So I'm going to have to line up. Like sometimes you go there at 10 in the morning and you have to line up outside.
Yeah, who wants to do that?
I'll probably have to go half an hour before they open and line up. And then, because they're not open Sunday or Monday, so I got to get the bread so it's available for the meal on Monday.
I bet you the grocery stores, like the big box grocery stores, or maybe not big box, but they'll be churning through some fresh sourdoughs this weekend. It's a big sourdough weekend.
Jenna says, "I bet Reid is a casserole connoisseur." Actually, I've never really. I know that's sort of the. You're a single guy. I don't make a lot of casseroles.
Well, the premise I think with that, and I am a huge casserole guy, is that you take things that are left over and you throw them in the casserole and you throw some cheese in it and some.
I've
and
never
you're good to go.
really done that, but I understand that.
Oh, I love casserole.
Big Slam Nasty says, "I'm good to go at bringing paper plates, utensils, butter, etc. If you need napkins, I'm your guy." And those are all valuable things, right? You don't have to make the most complicated dish or make the turkey to contribute. You need utensils. You need a bottle of wine or a bottle of pop, whatever. Bring it.
Yeah.
You need somebody to bring that.
Can I be honest? I think turkey is highly overrated.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Finally, someone is in my corner.
Oh, Zach's walking out of the studio.
I find, and whenever I say this, people always say, "Oh, well, the person who's cooking it for you isn't preparing it properly." And I'm like, no, I've had enough turkey.
I've had the juiciest of turkeys available.
The white meat is still too dry.
It's awful.
The white meat's too damn dry.
Why do you think you have to have cranberry with it to make it
or gravy.
darn good or gravy?
I'd sooner have a nice ham.
Yes.
And, my this side of my mom's side of the family, which is the side of the family that's here, is Ukrainian. So I'd be fine with a couple slices of ham, couple cabbage rolls, couple pita hair, some sort of a salad, even if it's just a nice green salad with oil and vinegar.
Yes.
And some sliced Cuba, and I'm happy. I could have a turkeyless Thanksgiving or Christmas, no problem.
Me too. Let's go on a turkey strike. We'll start it now. You and I. We'll see who can last the longest. It'd be like the contest in Seinfeld. I'm out.
Yeah, but I just don't. It's not my favorite. By any means.
We used to have turkey a lot in our house, and like you said, you can cook it perfectly. Like I've even had my brother-in-law will do the big thing where he dunks it in a what do you call it, like a deep fryer.
Oh,
you get the deep fried turkey.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't change the fact that it's all mundane white meat. You get some of the dark meat, but But yeah, I don't find it necessary.
Tell you what, we'll push the top 3 to 440. Zach, we're going to do buying or selling here. For Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find the right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out online, DamonBunting.com, or his IG handle. That's Instagram, kids. Well, the kids know that. That's Instagram, oldsters, is Damon Bunting Real Estate. If you show up for a Thanksgiving meal and the host says, hey, you know what? I didn't make a turkey. There's other stuff. Are you buying or selling? I'm buying. I'm like, whatever. Hey, ham. What? Maybe you made I don't know.
Dusty
maybe
just
it's
texted me.
meatless. Well, what's he saying? Is he all upset?
He's driving down to Calgary because he's calling the Elks Stamps game tomorrow. He says, you both are ridiculous. Turkey way over ham. He prefers turkey to ham.
Well, first of all, I don't know about you. He hired me specifically to be ridiculous or because of my ridiculous streak. So, okay, boss. I will eat turkey. I will have turkey.
Too,
I don't need turkey. I'm not disappointed if there was a holiday meal that didn't have turkey.
Yeah, I'm selling on turkey too. So is Brent Pisklovich. Turkey, meh. Tom Dixon's mustache says deep fry the turkey. The Wolf, he puts cream corn on everything except on pierogies. Cream corn fixes everything if it's dry.
Okay, well that's another left field take, but all right.
Roy Keane in the nasty chat says prime rib. Sure, sign me up.
Yeah, that'd be a good meal to have, or a nice roast beef. Yeah, for sure.
And isn't this nice? We'll get back into the turkey ham debate, but Zach, let's throw up a poll. Let's get a poll in play. Are you?
What are we going to put up?
Are you buying or selling that
a turkeyless Thanksgiving?
A turkeyless Thanksgiving. Yeah. Hey, this came into the EST inbox from Monday. Hey, Reid and Jay, goalie coach Connor here to provide an update from our trip to Pumpkins After Dark.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
Great time. Highly recommend. A lot of cool sculptures made out of pumpkins. One looked like Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey. Others had the headless horsemen, witches, dancing skeletons, etc. Lots of great photo ops as well. Highly recommend to nasty listeners. Happy Thanksgiving and hope everyone has a great Halloween. Thank you, goalie
happy
coach
Halloween.
Connor. I'm going to say turkey or ham. That's what I'm going to
on until Halloween. Borden Park, September 27th to October 31st at Borden Park. Pumpkins. I don't think, have they had this before? They must have. I have not been to it. I'll have to go. Can you just drive through it like you do?
I don't think it's a drive-through.
Candy Cane Lane.
Borden Park doesn't have a drive-through.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't loop. The road wouldn't loop around.
But
or
you can
Horlock
walk
Park
through.
used to have the big
Horlock,
Christmas lights. Yeah, and then Candy Cane Lane you can drive through or get out and walk.
Well, this will be the definitive question or answer that we're looking for.
This will be the
here.
most important thing ever spoken about on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Yeah, prolific for sure. Timber Woodsman comes in. He's the chainsaw man.
Oh, nice.
Brisket. Yeah. I like a good brisket.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different there's a lot of different meats or main courses that could be prepared that are quite interesting and would still feel like you're having sort of an event meal. Like I like the idea of having a prime rib, or some nice ribs. Like you wouldn't go out and make those every day.
Well, Coach Vic is in, and I know how much you respect his opinion.
A lot.
I know that. Turkey is okay, but it is all the fixings that make the meal. And as far as a protein for a meal, anything with it. Turkeyless meal, 100%, says Coach Vic. So he's on our side.
Yeah.
Monday, goalie coach Connor got back in, and he says, I can do either, but I prefer ham over turkey if given the choice. Okay. Timber Woodsman said, I'm heading to dark at Fort Ed Park tonight. What's that?
Okay. Oh, we were talking about that on the Hangout the other day.
Okay.
I was on with, what are those kids' names? Gazola and Awanak? We were talking about that. Dark is, I think it's sort of a big haunted house type thing at Fort Edmonton Park. So all the Halloween stuff's in full go. So I think you sort of walk through, Fort Edmonton Park or maybe through some of the buildings and there's things that are frightening or Halloween themed that jump out to you as little scenes and scenarios. Yeah.
This is polarizing. I mean, there's not that many votes in the vote yet, but it's tied 50-50.
Yeah, and I get like Matt Hyman says there's some people that don't eat pork. I get it. I mean, when we're not talking about dietary or religious beliefs or whatever, but just, if you didn't feel like turkey, or if you were hosting, would you dare? Let's say, what if you're hosting and you got a dozen family members coming over? Would you? I'm not making turkey. Would you have the stones?
Dang right, you're doing that. I'm doing that on Sunday.
What are you making?
Well, no, I'm not doing anything. I don't think. I think my mother-in-law. I saw a spiral ham show up in the garage fridge, so I think we're pro ham. For sure. So here's the thing. Corey from Beaumont says, I understand you're not liking the turkey, but what about the dressing, the potatoes, the gravy, and all the other good things that go with the turkey dinner? Are you selling that? I am not selling that. I am buying mashed potatoes. I am buying cornmeal. I am buying the Ukrainian sides that we both love so much. It's just the turkey.
See, I got to share something else with you. And I know I'm really in the minority here, but again, this is my own personal thing. I'm not a fan of mashed potatoes. I think it's a texture thing for me.
Okay.
Like I know some people, because I used to talk about this on Inside Sports occasionally, and of course, people would ridicule me, whatever. But I would also get texts from people who would say, I don't like bananas because of the texture. Have you ever heard that? People
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So, and because I'd always get like, oh, well, the people in your life don't know how to make mashed potatoes. It's like, no, they're competent cooks. I would just prefer other things, or a potato presented in another form.
Yeah, if I had to choose potato, mine would be a roast potato. Cut them up in a cube.
Too, yeah.
Throw them in some olive oil and seasoning and just roast them.
Yeah.
But mashed potatoes are a vessel for gravy.
I know they're a staple.
And sour cream.
I don't know. I just feel more interested in other things.
I get what you're saying.
But on Monday, if I got a slice of ham, some sliced Cuba, couple cabbage rolls, couple pita hair, and like I said, a salad, or maybe this broccoli dish that my mother is allegedly an expert at making, or that on a salad. Like sometimes somebody will make the marinated salad, with the carrots, broccoli, and cauliflower with sort of the Italian dressing on it. That I'm fine with that. I'd be fine with that as a meal. And I'm not a big dessert guy either.
Me neither. Well, we both have allergies, right? So
yeah, though there are allergies in my family, and one of my cousins is an outstanding. Like she makes this pineapple cheesecake that sometimes she makes it just specifically for me.
Pineapple cheese.
It's good. You're
not convincing me that's good.
It's good.
No way. Megs comes in and says, I love mashed potatoes and gravy. I feel like that with ham, it just isn't the same. So, she obviously likes it. I think it's the celebration of a holiday that turkeys feel like they deserve, like they belong.
Right.
Especially Thanksgiving, which I don't know the origins or the backstory. We'll have to find out. Why is turkey synonymous with Thanksgiving? I don't know. Is it?
I feel like I should know, but I don't know. Zach knows.
This is a wild shot in the dark. I almost dropped my laptop. But
this I got to hear.
I believe it's what the Pilgrims originally hunted.
Yeah,
was
I think
turkey. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
So it's
I think you're right.
So if it happened 300 years ago, we might as well keep doing it.
But Americans, not Canadians. That was an American thing.
True. Yeah.
So for all we know,
we should just eat poutine and maple syrup.
Could have been wild
because
hogs.
I believe the Canadian settlers hunted wild poutine.
And Megs also said pumpkins after dark. You walk through it.
Okay,
but she said the pumpkins are fake. She was devastated to discover this.
Apparently, there's going to be a turnip casserole on Monday. My mother is now texting me the menu. Thanks, Mom.
A turnip
casserole.
Sure
the Dasties are really interested.
Well, Gage is going to bring in. I asked him what he's making, and he's making Brussels sprouts.
Oh, I like Brussels sprouts.
Oh, man.
And that's one of those things, if you say that to a kid or sometimes even people in their 20s, they're like, I'm like, no, Brussels sprouts.
These aren't your mom's or grandma's.
These are fun.
Sprouts.
Yeah,
these
there's
are
some fun way.
These are slow roasted with prosciutto and some other, awesome. He's got some, he puts almonds or something on it, which,
I couldn't have, but you could leave them off. All right, that's fun turkey talk. We're going to have some more fun with my top 3 for food sausage, which would also be a good meal to have on Thanksgiving. It's going to be the sports things I'm most thankful for. But first, we got the Coob for Sit and Sleep with a sports update.
Carl Berglund has been cleared to play. To be loaned to the Bakersfield Condors from the Oilers. Raphael Lavoie has also been reclaimed off waivers for the 4th time in 6 days, and this time he gets picked up by Vegas and will report to the AHL Henderson Silver Knights. It's Oilers Blackhawks tomorrow with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 o'clock only on Edmonton Sports Talk. 3 games on tap with the Blackhawks and Jets, the Blues against the Golden Knights, and the Canucks battling the Flyers. Gavin Hodnett has been named as the 16th captain in Edmonton Oil Kings history. Oil Kings hit the ice tomorrow with the Red Deer Rebels. Tomorrow, the Elks visit the Stamps with Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne, getting you set for the game just an hour before the action at noon. Today, CFL Week 19 kicks off with the Bombers hosting the Argos. Gus Edwards is out for LA, while Justin Herbert of the Chargers and Devontae Smith and Alvin Kamara of the Saints are off the IR. Tonight, it's winner takes all with the Padres-Dodgers Game 5, and winner of that game moves on to take on the Mets. This sports update has been brought to you by Sit and Sleep. The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payments for 18 months, all interest-free. Sit and Sleep beside Planet Fitness in South Edmonton Common. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 1,000 local vendors from the 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
All right, quickly, Jay. The Edmonton Oilers are the only team in the NHL this season who have not done what?
Scored a goal.
Correct. They are the only team with a 0 in the goals for column.
Really?
Yes.
That was the first thing that came to mind. Wow.
You were correct.
I feel like the Rain Man.
The only team who has not scored. I guess the Leafs were shut out, but then they scored in their next game.
Did they?
Goals against Boston's allowed 10. They've played 2. Buffalo's allowed 10 in 3 games. The Avalanche have allowed 8 in 1 game, but the Oilers allowed 6 in their game. Oilers and Chicago tomorrow at 8 at Rogers Place. The Oilers are expected to roll with the same forward lines, but to have Travis Dermott on Darnell Nurse's right side and Ty Emberson on Brett Kulak's right side for the game tomorrow. So a little bit of shuffle, though there was in-game shuffling last game as well against the Jets. But we'll have more, and you'll hear from head coach Kris Knoblauch as we move along through the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. We're with you until 6 o'clock. All right, Thanksgiving weekend. You ready to go? Time for my top 3, presented by Food Sausage, the best sausages you will ever eat, locally made and packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in store, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their Edmonton Sports Talk discount. Here's the deal. You get 10% off your order online if you enter the code EST. If you walk into the store and simply are overheard mentioning EST, you get a 10% discount. So you could go up to the till with your sausages and say, Edmonton Sports Talk, 10% off. You could be in the back of the store and say to a fellow shopper, hey, have you ever checked out Edmonton Sports Talk? If one of the Fooge employees overheard that, you get 10% off because it just says mention. Free delivery in Edmonton on orders over $100. As Food Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. Top 3 sports things I'm most thankful for. I know that's a very generic and somewhat lazy word.
Top 3 sports things?
Things I'm most thankful for. So it makes it pretty broad. And they're all sort of related to how we consume sports. But when I was thinking about this, okay, well, I could put the Oilers drafted Connor McDavid. Okay, I could put that I'm thankful to be able to go to U of A games. But those are kind of very Edmonton specific. So I thought I'd make things that hopefully all sports things would join me in my thankfulness for.
I came up with 3 as well.
Is Dustin Nielsen one of them? He's probably listening.
Top sports things?
Yeah, that he calls games.
I'm thankful for him.
I just want to test if he's still listening or not.
He didn't make the list. Sorry.
He didn't make my list either. He'd be number 4. A very strong number 4. That Dustin Nielsen has a voice. All right. Number 1. 3-on-3 overtime in the National Hockey League. In my mind, the best rule change, adjustment, whatever you want to call it, the NHL has made in my lifetime. 3-on-3 overtime. I find when a game is tied late, I guess if it's the Oilers, you hope they win in regulation time. If I'm watching another game and it's that final commercial break with 6, 7, 5 minutes left, I'm kind of hoping, you know what? I hope nobody scores. I want to see 3-on-3 overtime. You got the Avalanche playing the Leafs. I want to see Makar and Matthews head-to-head and McKinnon or Marner in 3-on-3 overtime.
He still is listening, yeah.
Chicago and... you like Kempe? Okay, Chicago and the Kings. I want to see Bedard and Kempe and Kopitar and whoever going 3-on-3 overtime. I think that's one of the greatest things the NHL has ever done. I know we were talking with Gage earlier. Maybe we don't agree with how they give out points in regulation and overtime, but the pure spectacle and joy, and the goalies get to shine too a lot. 3-on-3 overtime, very thankful for that.
You know what it is? It's a mini all-star game. Right?
Yeah.
Because you take your top 3 players and pit them up against the other top 3. There's really only 2 lines that roll in overtime. So, yeah, I like that pick. Dustin says he would have been flattered if he made the list.
Nice. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, we're hunting.
As we endeavor to reach 100, and then we get a taste of your Thanksgiving meal. We always try to get to 100 every show just because it's fun. It's a nice number to get to. Do you want to do your number 1 now, or do you want me to do all 3 of mine?
Sure. I'm thankful for NFL football on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm very thankful. I'm used to only NBA.
They're up to 5 games in the NBA now.
Yeah, and it's too much. NFL NFL belongs. NFL is king. You got Kansas City at Pittsburgh and Baltimore at Houston.
Unique this year. There has been NFL on Christmas Day before, but unique this way because it's a Wednesday and they're still having games.
And then on Boxing Day, it's a Thursday, so there's still Thursday night football too.
I think is a Seahawks game this year.
I believe it is.
Well, last night they were not good.
You know what? They had some life.
Well, they made it interesting.
But did you hear the story of the cool bet parlay that the boys were on? Dusty and the...
No, you got to tell me.
Okay, so it was on Jordan Mason, the San Francisco running back.
Oh, right.
And this was a third leg of a parlay. So if this happened, they would have cashed, I think it was a plus 500 bet. Jordan Mason had to be the highest rusher in the game. And even though he left in the third quarter with a shoulder injury, he had already accrued, I think, 80-some yards.
Yeah.
It was by far and away the lead rusher. Garbage time.
Yeah.
Under 2 minutes left in the game. The San Francisco backup running back, actually third string backup. It wasn't even the backup to Jordan Mason. He was the backup. Broke a run for like 70 some yards and totally pooched their parlay. That would sting. They did it on the James H. Brown segment this morning. Ooh, that hurts. That would hurt.
And that running back joked today, hey, Madden, please don't lower my speed rating, because he went down on purpose inside the 5 so they could milk more clock.
That's right.
All right. Top 3 things we're most thankful for. We're both doing it today. I am going to say high definition and large screen televisions. We've talked about this before. I can remember watching Oilers regular season games on ITV when I was 7 or 8, and you were the screen would have been maybe 14 inches, not that big, and you're peering through snow because it's coming through your aerial through Whitecourt after being bounced there from Edmonton, and it's a totally different world for watching sports since there's been high def. And I know we've had high def for a while, but I'm still thankful for it. I don't think I take it for granted. Sitting watching a game, whatever sport it is, I watch the majors, the golf majors as well. Thank goodness, I'm thankful for high definition, large screen televisions for my sports viewing.
That's a fantastic pick because it has changed the viewing at home.
Yeah.
We still have HD and non-HD channels available on our. And it's weird. The only way we can get global Edmonton is on the non-HD.
Really?
Oh,
that's weird.
It's terrible. It's actually cringy. My second sports thing I'm most thankful for, and just let me get to this here, Reid, but Twitter Mary, who dropped off some very delectable delights this morning. I'm thankful to have EST from 6 to 6 and beyond.
Oh, amazing. Thank
Twitter
you.
Mary. Thank you, Twitter Mary, and thank you for those treats, and happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm thankful for video review. I think it has changed the game for the better.
All of it in general? Every single usage of video review?
No. I'm saying on the general. This is a more of a consensus that video review has made the game better in the terms that things are not getting screwed up and costing your team or costing,
last night.
Well, last night, sure. I still don't understand how they screw that up. But in general, Reid, video review, it was a game changer, literally and figuratively.
Okay, I want you to do your third one because I want to do my third one last because I'm going to need your participation in my third one.
I'm happy for the baseball postseason and that it's back. I love this time of the year. NFL, soup season, MLB postseason, and fingers crossed we might get another Subway Series.
Yeah, you're really horny for the Subway Series.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, whoever plays. We're not in New York. We don't get to go on the subway. I guess if there was a subway from Edmonton to Manhattan, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I guess it's the nostalgia of it all. Because I remember that was one of my first memories of actually actively watching MLB postseason was
the 2000 World Series.
Piazza, Roger Clemens, where he threw the bat at him.
Clemens threw the bat at him?
Yeah. So, forgive me for being nostalgic.
All right, that's cool. My third one is going to be quite general, but that's why we're going to have fun with Jay here, is the internet. When it comes to looking up sports stats, I want you to give me any stat for any player, and I'll see if I can find it in the next couple minutes.
How many hits did Jose Canseco have with the Oakland A's?
Well, that'll be easy. Jose Canseco, Baseball Reference, and it's on that page, and it breaks down his batting by each team. So I just got to find the right column. With the A's, in 9 seasons, he had 1,048 hits.
Crazy.
In 1,058 games, he hit 264 as an A with 254 home runs. And, of course, he won Rookie of the Year in 86, was MVP in 88. I always thought you were going to get way more specific. I really learned over the last few years how to navigate and sort the NHL website because hosting the postgame show or going on at intermissions, you might want to know, okay, well, I did this a few days ago when when was the last time the Oilers scored 10 goals? How many times has it happened? I did that on the fly. So I went to the NHL stats page. I put in the Oilers as the franchise. I deselected some results, so you get game by game. I had to put the starting season as 79-80. The end season is now. You had to put in goals for as one of the categories, and then put in 10 or more, and then it sorted all of them. And I did that on the fly while we were hosting. So the ability to do that and just everything that you can find on the internet, sports related, I'm thankful for that, Captain Internet.
How many assists did Ryan Nugent-Hopkins have with the Red Deer Rebels in 2009, 2010?
Well, again, that's incredibly...
That's not easy.
Quick to find. It's incredibly quick to find. You Google Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, you click on his Hockey DB page. In 09-10, he had 41 assists with the Rebels.
But that's impossible to find unless you have the internet.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Right? Like, I get that.
Well, you
it's
need
easy,
a printed Red Deer Rebels media guide.
Yeah,
or you'd have to be able to call Cam Moon on a landline.
Did you ever collect cards?
Yes.
Did you ever have to get the Beckett magazine to see what the value is?
No, I never did that.
Oh, those are the days.
I have cards, but I think they're all from what is called. We'll have to have Wayne on at some point.
That'd be great.
I think all of my hockey and baseball cards are from what is known as the junk wax era.
Explain.
So it's a time in which basically a lot of cards were being produced. So therefore, there aren't a lot of valuable cards because the market was saturated.
Right. We might be in another one of those eras.
I'm not sure, actually. Well, I believe Upper Deck is the only company that makes hockey cards.
I know Dustin and actually...
Oh, he knows a lot.
I mean,
he'll text me if I said something incorrect.
Well, I think that is another problem right now, is that there's the market's so saturated with different collections and card-making companies. So
we are still going to do the keyword for the EST Fly Away to LA, presented by the 780. TSN's Ryan Rishaug from the Got Your Back podcast when we return to the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Carl Berglund has been cleared to play for the Bakersfield Condors, while Raphael Lavoie is on the move once again, being reclaimed by the Vegas Golden Knights, who assign him to the Henderson Silver Knights of the AHL. Oilers host the Blackhawks tomorrow, and you can tune in to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas live at 7 o'clock, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. The Blackhawks are in action today with the Jets before it's the Blues facing the Golden Knights and the Canucks against the Flyers. Gavin Hodnett has been named as the 16th captain in Edmonton Oil Kings history. Oil Kings play tomorrow against the Red Deer Rebels. CFL Week 19 kicks off as the Argos visit the Bombers in Winnipeg, and tomorrow the Elks are in action against the Stamps. Join Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne on the Green and Gold kickoff show an hour before the game at noon to get you set for the matchup. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert is off the injury report, while Taysom Hill of the Saints will not play this week. Alvin Kamara and Rashid Shaheed of New Orleans are in, however. In the MLB playoffs, Game 5 of the Padres-Dodgers series decides who moves on to meet the Mets. And in just a moment, Ryan Rishaug from the Got Your Back podcast joins Reid Wilkins and Jay Milne. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Well, I'm winded because we went and shot baskets on the hoop during the break. I'm exhausted.
We're trying to come up with a good system here.
We're trying to score. Well, if you hit the shot, then we're fine.
Then it's good. But we're trying to get a nice, smooth, putback dunk for Riedrich over here, and it's just...
Or a tip-in rebound. Because it's very hard. The hoop is not forgiving.
No.
So it's hard to score, but it's very hard to rebound. So now we're trying that I jump before I even see where the ball is going.
Yeah, his back is to me while I'm shooting, and then the ball comes over and he shoots and he puts his hands up like a volleyball block to maybe try and grab it and throw it in, but we haven't been that successful.
No, we have not done well at all.
Time, we got lots of time.
Yeah, we will perfect. We just started this.
We got 12 years, I think, right?
15.
15.
I'm 50. If I go to 65,
sure.
We have 15 years to perfect the hoop. Some people have already perfected their broadcasting careers, such as our next guest from TSN, Ryan Rishaug, also from the Got Your Back podcast, making his debut. I actually believe this is the first time Ryan Rishaug has ever been on a talk show that I have been the host of, and we have known each other a long time now. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Reid. Yeah, this is weird, man. This is kind of like the crashing together of two completely separate worlds in my head. And good to see you too, Jay. But this thing with Reid, this is weirdo world for me, buddy.
Well, it's usually weirdo world when you see me, even around the rink.
Yeah.
And sometimes we go out of our way to be weird to each other. Hey, thanks for doing this. We got a lot to talk about. One thing I realized was I actually know very little about your broadcast journey because I first started seeing you when I was in Lloyd, and I think you were on CTV for a while, and then you jump into TSN when Ken Chillibuck left. And as a joke, I often call Ryan Ken just to try to annoy him and make Dave Parker, his camera guy, laugh. But I think you must have had the day where you're the young guy in the newsroom and you're hauling around the camera yourself and shooting all your own stuff. Like you must have gone through all that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100% I did. By the way, Jay, does he take the time to get to know you at all, or is it a very surface level relationship like the 20-year one he and I apparently have? Knows nothing about me.
Quite the surface thus far, Ryan.
Goodness sakes. Thanks for listening, Reid. Thanks for caring. We've only sat and watched 300 practices together.
That's
you
true.
never thought to be like, so Shogger, where did you get started? Like, never.
No.
I found a good jumping off point now is talking about board games that I know nothing about, but I know he knows. So it makes, it kind of bonds us that way.
That's good. You got to speak his language. Although Reid and I actually do have a bit of a shared love for. I mean, I like some board games too. Maybe not quite exactly the same types, but we actually have bonded over some discussions of board games and the like. Reid,
you would strike me, Ryan, as an Axes and Allies kind of guy.
Did dabble in that a little bit. Settlers of Catan.
Yes.
We've talked often about that. Risk, always enjoyed that with the friends, and then just the more lighthearted ones as well. I like myself a good board game.
Well, I believe you told me once you've done something that I still want to do, and I want to do Pandemic Legacy Season 1. I've still never done that.
Oh yeah,
I've done some Legacy
Randy
and campaign.
Yeah, my wife and I have done season 1 and season 2 of Pandemic.
Oh, good.
Which it's like, it's fun. It's good. It's good stuff.
All right, so give us a slice into a young Ryan Rishaug as a VJ, and I don't know if it was a triumph or an embarrassment that you're comfortable sharing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if you're looking for those early career, oh my goodness moments. You know, there were a couple. There was one. I was doing a news internship in Kamloops after my first year of school, and I was reading a news update, and I went to fire. Back in the day, we had these carts, like they were, if you wanted to fire a clip, nothing was digital, so you had to like push play on a cart. And I went to roll a soundbite, and nothing happened. And so I went like this. I went, shit, about that loud. And then I looked over, and I saw my mic was still on. So I was like, no! It was probably my third cast. And so I came walking out of the news booth, and I was like, I'm looking around, and I thought there'd be like a parade of people, including my boss, to fire me on the spot. Nobody's there. So I go walking back to my desk, and I'm looking around. Nobody says anything. I sit down. No one says anything. I keep working. I think I'm good. Like 3 hours later, our noon guy walks in, and he's like, hey, everybody. Hello. How you doing? Shannon, how are you? Hi. Ryan, did you say shit on the air today? My wife was getting her hair cut, and they had Radio NL on, and she swears she heard you say shit. And I was like, yeah. So then my boss was like, did you? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, get in here. So I went into his office, and he gave me the talking to. He said to me, nobody has ever been given the opportunity to do that 3 times. And I had to think about it for a second. I was like, oh, so I can do it? No. If I do it again, I'm fired. He's like, yeah, get out of my office. So that was that.
Yeah.
So there you go. And now we just say it on air like it's nothing. Like, what has happened to the world? Now we throw it out there like it's nothing.
Yeah, I still have trouble with that. I said it on the Hangout over a year ago when I first came in September, and I heard Dusty go, whoa, we're still broadcasting seriously here, Reid. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah,
sorry
but
about that.
I don't know. It's fine. I think a little bit is, and there's still some words I think that we all know we don't go near. Well, thank you for sharing a very vulnerable moment from your career.
Yeah, well, thanks for taking 5 minutes to get to know me a little bit, Reid.
Yeah, well, that's
maybe I should
enjoy it.
Maybe you should interview me like you're interviewing Ryan. Maybe this would enhance our relationship.
This is Ryan and I constantly at the rink. Like it's just.
I feel like Jay and I are probably closer at this point than you and I actually are, Reid. To be honest with you.
Who do I really bond with at the rink? To be serious.
Well, I don't know. I mean, is this where you want me to say you're like a Reid? You're a lone wolf, and you go your own way.
Yeah, he's a recluse. He's a recluse.
Yeah, he doesn't need to fit in because he blazes his own trail down there. And Reid, should we do a simulation of what a conversation sounds like between you and me when we see each other every day, Reid?
Yeah, if you want to.
It's something along, Jay. You should start this, Jay, because really our relationship's gotten a lot better since we started this. Reid will normally walk up. Reid, you do one of your greetings. Give me a greeting, Reid.
Hey, you Ken Chillisbuck? What's going on?
You are probably the least talented broadcaster to work in this city in the last 2 decades.
Well, considering your opinion is meaningless to me, that's fine.
And he would have thoroughly beaten me because I got nothing. So we have those little exchanges 3 times a week at minimum, Jay.
This is fantastic because I have these exchanges 5 days a week. For the prep we do in the bullpen and then on air. But we're getting there. Baby steps, but we're getting there.
Believe it or not.
Show looks and sounds great, you guys. I've been watching and keeping an eye on it. And congratulations to both of you. It's awesome. I'm happy for you guys. The city needed this.
We're having a blast. And believe it or not, Jay prepared hockey questions for you.
Yes, I figured that we should probably ask you some sort of a hockey related question to tie this all together to your podcast. Got your back, and okay, here's a hockey question for you, Mr.
Are
Ryan
you reading
Rishaug.
this off of your hand right now, or where did you write these down?
I wrote them on my notes that Reid prints out for us. He makes show notes every day. It's very professional.
Crumple those up. Throw them away. Come on, let's ad lib here.
All right. I just ripped them up, okay? All right. Here's a serious question for you.
Sure.
So we saw the pairings that were on the ice today. Reid and I were talking earlier, and we thought, after that game one, maybe this is an opportunity for Stetcher to be injected into the lineup, maybe take Dermott's spot. Who knows? But that doesn't appear to have happened. What do you think of what's going on with the lineup pairings? And did you expect to see Stetcher this early, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, Reid, based on what we saw today, we believe, what do we see? We saw Dermott with Nurse, right? And then we saw Kulak with Emberson. That's what we saw at practice today, if I remember correctly, right? So, what I would say is that I was expecting Emberson to go right back next to Nurse. I think it's a new pairing. I think they're really hoping Emberson is the one that fits. I think they barely played together in exhibition. For some strange reason, when Nurse was ready to start playing exhibition games, they didn't play Emberson there right away. They wasted a game. And now it's slow chemistry. And it didn't go well last game. They separate them. You kind of look at that and go, okay, they're looking for something, I guess. Like they're trying to salvage something out of this game. Fine. I thought they would have gone right back together again. And, I don't know, maybe they will tomorrow. But it feels a little early to me to pull Emberson off that pairing next to Nurse, given they really need that to work out. And so I would have felt like, you're playing against Chicago. It's not, if there were a time to just let that ride for another game and see how it goes, I think that's probably the game.
Now, it seems like this happens, and once again, I know it's early, but why does this team, seem to fall behind early and not have the ability to answer the bell?
Yeah, it's such a good question. To me, you guys, I think there's a little bit of something in the buildup. Like, I don't know, Reid. We were down there every day. We talked to these guys about, expectations. And 2 years in a row, it's been pundits are picking them to win the cup. 2 years in a row. Last year, everybody was in a month early and they were going to be so ready and so, fired up and all that. I just think sometimes maybe the weight of that expectation, as much as they want us to believe they don't pay attention to it, maybe it's their own internal expectation. I just think there's this huge buildup, and like this big build. And it's just, maybe it's hard in the face of that buildup to come out and immediately meet expectations. Like I heard for weeks about this new fancy show that was going to be on air. And you guys are great now. I tuned in. You were hot garbage episode 1. Now, that doesn't mean you're not a great show. But here you are now being much more meeting your potential.
Yes.
Reid, you in particular, I'm talking about.
Yes,
Reid.
I'm approaching mediocrity at last, which I'm very proud of.
I think it's something to do with expectation, Reid, and just that moment, that 3-week buildup. A couple of years in a row, it's just kind of gone thud on them.
Yeah, we talked about it a bit yesterday, and I wonder about it as well. And in yesterday's show, I even talked about how many game ones have they lost in series more often than not. Last year lost game 1 to LA, lost game 1 to Vancouver, did win game 1 in Dallas, though then we're down 2-1, and obviously we know about the Cup final. I've been asked, including even by Tom when I went on his post game show on Wednesday about comparisons to last year.
Whose show?
Tom Gazzola. He's a local broadcaster. A local.
Okay. He's a colleague of us. We got to talk about him.
Never heard of him. Sorry.
And I said, well, there's parallels to last year with the score. I don't know if there's parallels to last year because I think last year, Woodcroft was clearly trying to change some things. And I do think last year they were already thinking about the playoffs at the start of the year. Like their feet weren't grounded in playing Vancouver on that opening night. I don't want to make excuses for them because they had a bad game, but I don't know, maybe even that pregame ceremony and being introduced before the game and seeing the banner. I don't know, maybe that throws off a team's routine or something. I guess we'll see, but it is an easier opponent playing Chicago tomorrow as opposed to facing Vancouver again like they did last year. But it is weird how a very, very good team often waits to be kicked in the mouth before they really start showing what they have.
So maybe there's something to this. Tell me what you guys think of this. I think whatever sport they're part of, really, really good teams, championship caliber teams, they're in command of their best game. So when they need to, they can summon their best game. And you can't have it 82 games a year. We get it. You're going to have up and down nights. But mature teams that are truly have that character can summon their A game when they need it. And I think the Oilers are still a team that is learning how to flip the switch and make sure. Right? Flip the switch and leave no doubt, make sure. They're not in as much command of their A game as I think maybe some other teams are. And so opening night, big game, lots of pressure. All that aside, the team's just going to make sure they flip the switch and they do it. Opening games of series, to your point, Reid, these are all high pressure situations where you make sure. And it doesn't mean you're always going to win, but you certainly don't play like crap, right? And I think this team maybe struggles a little bit with that, and we see it in some of these bigger moments.
I like how you put that, being in command of your A game. And, as you know, I'm a big football fan, so I think of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Kansas City Chiefs. They might have stumbles. The Bombers might have a game in June. The Chiefs might have a game in September. But as the season builds and there are these teams that, we're going to challenge them. We're going to prove we're the best in the West or the AFC. And then the Chiefs are like, meh. The Bombers are like, no, I don't think so. We'll beat you 40-35. We'll beat you 17-10. Doesn't matter. We'll beat you.
Yeah, and Jay, where I really noticed it last year, where the first time where I was like, oh, okay, that is a sign that this group, it's one thing to lose the opener, right? But do you remember I believe they started back-to-backs against Vancouver? When they didn't bounce back against Vancouver, that's when I went, okay. Everybody can have a one-off on opening night, sure, whatever. The fact that they couldn't summon enough to counterpunch in the next game. So I think tomorrow night, I'm going to be watching to see, are the Oilers going to do just enough to get by the Chicago game? Or are they going to be mature enough as a group to recognize that was a bad one the other night? This needs to be a no-doubter. And Jay, I think their performance Saturday night will show if maybe there's a bit of growth there from last year where they were so stunned with what happened after the first game.
Yeah.
We're in a bit of a fun mood here. It's obviously a Friday of a long weekend and everybody's feeling good. So I just wanted to ask you, Ryan, about, I'm going to take you back a few weeks to you were on the sideline of the Winnipeg Elks game.
Okay.
Trade Ford, not his greatest game. You were there, and then I saw you on the sideline doing an excellent job, as you always do. And then fast forward to last weekend against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, you were also on the sideline. And I noticed that the product you use in your hair was substantially different from the Winnipeg game to the Saskatchewan game. And I just want to know what goes through the process leading up to those decisions. Yeah. And where do you come out in the end? What's the best fit? Is it a heavy pomade light hairspray or light pomade heavy hairspray? Because I know it can get windy down there, it can get gusty. I just want to have some clarification on that from you, if you don't mind.
No, and I have to say, Jay, you are bang on this. Yeah. I absolutely had made a switch in what I was using. So, and listen, let's be honest, it's just the three of us talking now. Everybody tuned out, no one else cares. But I'll pull the curtain back a little bit here for you. So, while I'm doing well compared to my fellow hosts on Got Your Back, I still am there's definitely some thinning happening. And I decided this summer I'm going to grow it out a little bit and kind of let her buck. And we'll see if maybe it looks like, there's more there. But the problem was when you have longer hair and you use the product I used to use, it clumps together and it actually goes the other way and it looks like there's less.
Looks like a wet dog.
So then my hair, Reid, you wouldn't know, you voluptuous head of hair looking man. You wouldn't know about these things. My hairdresser, Jacqueline, she's great. We strategized, my people talked to her people. We had some high level meetings and we made a decision. We changed. I went to a dry shampoo with just a touch of hairspray, but mostly didn't put much in it. And so it was a windy day. It was blowing all over the place. It looked terrible. I don't know, guys. There's not a lot I can do with it now. There's not a lot I can do with it now. It's thinning, and I got to live with it.
Look, we're in the same boat. I feel what you're saying. Shorter is better for hair types like ourselves. Not everybody can be that handsome Tom Gazzola with that head of hair. But
right.
The
I
amount of
see this guy, man. The way you guys are talking about this guy, I should probably.
I'll
is he
point
on
him out
Twitter?
tomorrow. I'll point him out tomorrow.
He's at the rink with us every day.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
I think he got a media pass.
He's around.
Yeah. No, Ryan, this has been great. Thank you for coming on. Reid, did you have any other quips or?
I have an extra. I do want to say, Ryan, thank you for coming on. I wish the interview could go longer, but I don't want it to.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I feel absolutely the same. I actually strongly considered just leaving you guys hanging and just being a complete no-show, and totally gaslighting you tomorrow and being like, I don't even know what you're talking about, man.
That would have been amazing.
Never come on a show with you. Like you, hey, get a few more years into the industry. Let's let this show be, older than 6 weeks. And
right.
If you're still up and running, maybe I'll come on.
Appreciate it.
But you are going to be on this show, I guess, sporadically, and obviously are you doing every Monday with Nielsen?
Yeah. We got Monday mornings. The Monday morning Got Your Back Mandate with Nielsen, and I'll pop in now and then, say hi to Jay. Hopefully, ignore you.
Yep.
And we'll see you and this Tom person around the rink.
Hey, when tell us about Got Your Back. When can people find it? How can they find it, and whatnot?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So we're going 4 episodes a week. Quite often we are post games. Although you guys, as you know, we start a little bit later because I got to be in the room post game and then I got to get home. So by all means, you can check out Tommy and Company post game and then flip over a little bit later. So we're a post game pod 4 times a week. We normally do Sunday nights too, and it's Jason Strudwick and Rob Brown and myself. And it's Got Your Back. And then, of course, my day job, you can find me on SportsCenter as TSN's bureau chief.
Ryan, this was exceptional. Thank you for making time for us. I will see you tomorrow, but I'll wish you now on air. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Yeah, same to you, pal. Reid, this was long overdue. As much as we joke, I love you, buddy, and I'm really happy for you guys. Jay, great work. I've loved the show so far, and look forward to talking to you again.
Appreciate it.
Right on.
All right, see you, boys.
Excellent to have TSN's Ryan Rishaug from the Got Your Back podcast on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. He's fun. We bug each other nonstop, and sometimes it would sound quite vicious to someone who wasn't informed that we are just completely joking. But good shot with Ryan. I have a great story about early in his career. I don't know if I ever swore on air, but when you're new in something that you really want to pursue, whether it's broadcasting or anything, you remember those first few days and you think any little thing, it's like, well, that's it. I'll never work again. You're never going to get to do it again. So it was nice of him to share that story. And we'll see. And I thought he made some good points. And it is a debate, Jay. Like, how does this team react? How do they deal with? Why do they come out and start seasons with 8-1 and 6-0 losses when they're clearly a better team than that?
It's a tough question to answer.
But
right,
I don't know if it's expectations or and let's face it. Sometimes even people who are really, really good at something have bad nights. And if it happens at the beginning of a season or whatever, it tends to stand out a little more. So we'll see how they bounce back tomorrow. All right, we'll have a little bit more on the Oilers. We'll have some comments from head coach Kris Knoblauch. We got a sports update with Zach Kubish, presented by Advantage RV.
Raphael Lavoie has been reclaimed off waivers for the 4th time in 6 days, and this time he gets picked up by Vegas and will report to the Henderson Silver Knights in the AHL. It's Oilers Blackhawks tomorrow, and Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas are live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 o'clock, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Right now, the Lightning and Hurricanes game is scoreless midway through the first, and later it's the Blackhawks and Jets, the Blues against the Golden Knights, and the Canucks battling the Flyers. Gavin Hodnett has been named as the 16th captain in Edmonton Oil Kings history. Oil Kings hit the ice tomorrow with the Red Deer Rebels. Tomorrow, the Elks Visit the Stamps with Matthew Wanek and Jay Milne, getting you set for the action on the Green and Gold kickoff show just an hour before the game at noon. Today, it's CFL Week 19 with the Bombers hosting the Argos. Gus Edwards is out for LA, while Justin Herbert of the Chargers and Devontae Smith, as well as Alvin Kamara of the Saints, are off IR. It's winner takes all with the Dodgers Game 5, and the winner of that one moves on to face the Mets. This sports update has been brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their sports medicine physicians, highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, as well as their massage therapists. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy uses the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Right after the break, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues. I'm Zachary Kubish for your sports update.
It's the EST Fly Away to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Fly Away keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for two, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Fly Away to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of The Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Good to have Ryan Rishaug on the show from TSN and the Got Your Back podcast. We had Jordin Tootoo on the program as well. Excellent interview with him. If you missed anything, get the podcast for the Reid Wilkins Show, any program on Edmonton Sports Talk, wherever you get your podcast, or you can go into the archive on YouTube as well. We had Joaquin Gage stick around and join us after the end of his show and talk about beating up a young Swedish hockey player while playing
sounds
pro.
so bad when you say it like that.
I know. I just try to make it sound as vicious as possible. He always laughs at it.
He sticked a guy that was, or he punched a guy that was sticking him continually. Yeah. He gets what he deserves.
Not a lot of fighting
Swedish
in that
punk.
league.
Twitter Mary came into the EST inbox and she says, "Oh my God!" She said, "Schauger is putting on the roast of Reid Wilkins today."
Yeah.
To which I replied, "Nobody takes shots at my guy Reid." So she, and then she said, "Oh my gosh, did you just call out Schauger on his hair products?" And I said, "Nobody puts Reid in the corner without repercussions."
Oh, jeez.
I got your back.
That's hardcore. All right. We are in the James H. Brown studio, James H. Brown personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. You will hear from Oilers head coach Kris Knoblauch before we sign off in about half an hour. In a short period of time, a few minutes, we will have the keyword for the EST Fly Away to LA presented by the 780. Going into the long weekend, like I said, I'm going to the Tootoo movie tonight, so I'll be able to talk about that when we're back on Tuesday. I'm very optimistic. It's going to be great.
We're going to have a lot to talk about on Tuesday's
Two
show.
Oilers games, an Elks game, which, as we've talked about, the interest level wanes.
Sure.
With them out of the playoffs.
It's peaked because of the Trey Forbes.
Yeah, and for me, I'm still going to watch it. And I'm glad it's not up against the Oilers game. It's at 1:00 tomorrow.
You can come hang out with Matt and I at Century Sports Bar.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You never know.
Maybe you and I could bet on some grades together.
Did I lose $10 or $15?
Yeah, the most we really do is like $10.
You lost money on a winning bet when we were there.
Yeah, I did.
Which they shouldn't make
possible. It was a box.
Yeah.
It's because I boxed a three-way triactor.
Yeah,
and the way it came out, it didn't pay.
You got money back, but not your bet back.
I think it was a $6 bet, and it returned me $5.
It'd be like if you bet on every number on a roulette wheel, you'd actually lose a unit bet because it's 35 to 1, and you got to bet 36 or 38, I guess, to bet on everything if there's 2 zeros on the wheel. You know what I want to mention here quickly, because you and I I know this was a few days ago, but I think it's worth bringing up as something incredibly odd, humorous, bizarre, maybe even unacceptable. So last Saturday, Vanderbilt upset then number 1 Alabama in football. I think it was 40-35.
Yes.
And Vanderbilt's generally not been good. I think Nick Saban once made a quip about how bad Vanderbilt was when he was coaching at Alabama. So Vanderbilt wins the game. The athletes the students storm the field, which we know happens in college football or college basketball. Which was who was Colorado playing where they were worried they might have stormed the field too early when they were still reviewing that fumble? Was it Utah State or somebody like that?
Something like that.
So anyway, the Vanderbilt students, some of them,
a lot of them,
pulled down the goalposts, which I think is maybe part of the tradition, but then transported them out of the stadium and threw them in the river that runs through the city. Like, is that not a little... Like, talk about mania for college football.
I don't get it. Like, what's the allure of, trespassing? For one, they're not supposed to be on the field.
Well, but it's accepted.
2, vandalism, taking the goalposts, and 3, hijacking them down Broadway in Nashville, which was a 2.4 mile stretch. Vanderbilt is outside of the ring road of Nashville.
Right.
They had to walk it.
I'm watching some video of it.
They had to walk it over the interstate into downtown Nashville, hang a left at where the Panthers play, the Predators play, and then head down Broadway.
Yeah.
To the river and throw it in the river.
And then they had a live stream of the new goalpost being put in, and I believe they cut up the goalpost that was in the river and sold 4-inch pieces of it for $1,000 and 8-inch pieces for $4,000. And they sold them all by Wednesday.
They sold them?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because I guess the stadium is not on campus, so the goalposts wound up at the university or something like that.
Yeah. No, the stadium's right on campus.
Oh, is it? Okay.
They took it down to the river, which is north towards downtown Nashville.
Anyway.
That river that they threw it in, if you look across it from where they threw it in, that's where the Titans play at Nissan Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They I guess they took the goalposts out of the river and they cut it up. To me, that's excessive celebration.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting old and stodgy.
I don't think so.
Like, let's not throw big things in rivers when you.
I just
like if the Oilers won the cup, are we gonna take the Stanley Cup by I'm blanking on the sports store off White Ave, United Cycle? Are we gonna take the giant Stanley Cup from United Cycle and walk it down Saskatchewan Drive and then throw it into the river? No, you wouldn't do that.
But here's the thing, because I thought I saw that they were looking at pressing charges against kids that were identified throughout this. So it's like, okay, it's one thing to laugh it off, and at one point, like the police were almost escorting them because of a public safety kind of concern. Yeah, I don't get that stuff.
No, that was I found that very odd. But hey, good for Vanderbilt to win a big football game. Nice timing. Time for the EST Fly Away, presented by the 780, a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780, both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com. So the word 7 and then the numbers 80.com, or at any of their 5 locations: Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall at the airport. So, of course, we're giving away an incredible trip. You get to go to Los Angeles on Boxing Day. You're there until December 30th. You get tickets to see the Clippers play the Warriors, to see the Rams play the Cardinals, and also you'll see an Edmonton NHL game against either Anaheim or Los Angeles. You get a rental car and a hotel. We're qualifying 4 people every weekday until November 28th, and then on the Nielsen Show on the 29th, we'll give the trip away. We'll also qualify people during Hello Hockey on Saturdays. Now, you have to text in a keyword to 780-218-9999, and then we'll select a qualifier from all the correct keywords. And the keyword today is dome. It is dome. D-O-M-E. So text that in, and we'll get a qualifier, and we will briefly chat with that person, and your name, you're eligible to win.
What's the dome reference? The Staples Center. SoFi Stadium.
It's got.
I guess they're shaped
domed, isn't it?
In a dome.
Yeah.
It's an open air stadium, SoFi.
Is it not retractable?
I'm not sure.
Well, what's the Clippers' new stadium called?
That must be what it is.
Isn't it the Intuit Dome?
There you go. You got it.
Now I got to check about SoFi Stadium. I know there's been several big events there over the years. I don't know. The Stadium Bowl has open sides and seats 70,000 spectators. Above the stadium is an independently supported translucent canopy which covers the stadium proper. Huh. Yeah, I thought it was covered.
Interesting.
So, anyway, the keyword is dome for the EST Fly Away to LA, presented by the 780. You'll hear from Oilers head coach Kris Knoblauch on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Here's a sports update with Zach Gubish.
Carl Berglund has been cleared to play for the Bakersfield Condors, while Raphael Lavoie is on the move once again, this time being reclaimed by Vegas, who assigns him to the Henderson Silver Knights of the AHL. Oilers host the Blackhawks tomorrow, and you can tune in to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live at 7 o'clock with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. And right now, it is the Lightning up against the Hurricanes. That game scoreless with just over 5 minutes to go in the first. Tonight, we also got the Blackhawks in action against the Jets before the Blues face the Golden Knights, and the Canucks go head-to-head against the Flyers. Gavin Hodnett has been named as the 16th captain in Edmonton Oil Kings history. Oil Kings play tomorrow against the Red Deer Rebels at home in Rogers Place. CFL Week 19 kicks off with the Argos visiting the Bombers in Winnipeg, and tomorrow the Elks play the Stamps. Join Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne on the Green and Gold kickoff show an hour before the game at noon to get you set for the action. Last night, it was Jordan Mason of the 49ers suffering an AC joint sprain, which took him out of the game, but that injury is considered minor. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert is off the injury report, while Taysom Hill of the Saints will not play this week. However, Alvin Kamara and Rashid Shaheed of New Orleans are in the game. In the MLB playoffs, Game 5 of the Padres-Dodgers series decides who moves on to meet the Mets. Right after the break, we ring up today's qualifier for the EST Fly Away to LA. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date
with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
It's crunch time for your taste buds because for a limited time, A&W is collaborating with Ruffles to bring you the Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger, your favorite teen burger, and your favorite Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips combined into one unique taste sensation. It's grass-fed beef. It's one-of-a-kind ridges and crunch. Try it in all its teen burger glory or crunch into its equally tasty sidekick, the Ruffles Crunch Buddy Burger for just $4.99. Try one today at your neighborhood A&W.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Oilers playing the Chicago Blackhawks tomorrow night. Chicago on the road against the Jets this evening. The Oilers are going to be playing Calgary on Saturday. Flyers on Tuesday. Flyers are in Vancouver tonight. The Oilers starting with a 4-game homestand. Of course, the first game of which has already been lost, 6-0 to the Winnipeg Jets. As I mentioned earlier, the Oilers are the only team in the NHL to have not scored a goal yet this season. The Oil Understood is presented by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve the Edmonton and Northern Alberta area for over 50 years and now a proud partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Hey, Brian. This is Zach from Edmonton. Understood. We're going to have our clips with Kris Knoblauch in a couple minutes, but I believe we have our qualifier for the EST Fly Away to LA, who obviously texted in the correct keyword, which was Dome.
Dome. What are you watching tonight?
The Tootoo movie.
Yeah, right.
Oh, when I don't know if I'll, I'm going over with my friend if we hang out after.
Okay.
What's the late hockey game? I was just looking at the schedule and I already forgot. The baseball will be over by the time the movie's over, right?
I think so, yep.
Blues Golden Knights, I'm not even sure if that's on. Well, Flyers Canucks will be on TV. Maybe I'll put that on.
Yeah, that'll be on.
CFL game will be over because that's a 6 o'clock game in Winnipeg, right?
Blues Golden Knights?
Yeah, I'd probably sooner watch Flyers and Canucks since Canucks are in Edmonton's division and the Flyers are here on Tuesday. Is it Brian?
You heard that right.
Brian, it's Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the show. Congratulations on qualifying for the EST Fly Away to LA. Have you been to Los Angeles before?
Yes, for Disneyland.
For Disneyland. Did you go on any rides?
Yes, many rides.
What would you be most excited to see here? The NBA, the NHL, or the NFL?
Oh, I think the NFL game. Just haven't been to one before.
And who's your NFL team?
Sadly, it's the Patriots. So
why do you say sadly?
Sadly,
well, just based on now, but we've been spoiled for so many years that.
And when that was our off-topic question today, presented by William Huff, was who was your NFL team and why? So why did you become a Patriots fan?
I think I was a fan when Drew Bledsoe was on the team and they had there was a big game where he threw, I think, close to 60 attempts and it was a big comeback win. And then they and then they ended up going 7 wins in a row. So it was kind of back when he was on the team.
So that's your way of saying I didn't jump on the bandwagon when Tom Brady came into the picture.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I appreciate that clarification.
Yes, we appreciate that. That's cool you mentioned Bledsoe. Okay. Hey, well, again, Brian, thanks for listening to Edmonton Sports Talk. We really appreciate it. And good luck being in contention here for the EST Fly Away to LA. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Yes, you too, guys. Thank you.
I do appreciate that when you meet a Patriots fan. And I talked about Dave Campbell and Blake Dermott, my former colleagues who were in earlier. It's like it's remember the mid-'90s, or everybody's all of a sudden got a Bulls jersey, or so it's nice you meet those Bulls fans. Like, no, I was a fan in the '70s or whatever. You know,
I don't believe a lot of them.
Well, if you're in Edmonton, no.
There's a lot of Patriots fans here, and they all say the same thing. And I'm not accusing of anything here, Brian, but I just, it's quite timely to become a fan of a team, and then they go whip off however many Super Bowls.
How many did the Patriots win? Was it 7?
Seven Super Bowls.
And they were in 10, right? Because they lost to the Giants twice and to the Eagles. Let's see who can remember. No, did Brady win 7 or did the Patriots win 7?
Well, who did they win?
Okay, so the Patriots beat, the trivia on the spot here. So the Patriots beat the Rams. They beat the Eagles. They beat Carolina. They beat Seattle. They beat the Rams again. And they beat...
Oh, yeah, they beat the Jared Goff Rams, right?
Yes.
And then they beat
that
Atlanta.
13-3 game. And they beat Atlanta in overtime.
Yeah.
And then Brady got his 7th with Tampa Bay. I think the Patriots themselves only won 6.
Who would have they won a Super Bowl with? Oh, it's Brady's won 7. That's
Brady's
what it is.
won 7.
Because then he went on to win with Tampa Bay.
I don't think we're missing one. Yeah, the Patriots and Steelers both have 6. And then with Brady as the quarterback, they lost to the Giants twice.
Yes.
And to the Eagles in one of the best Super Bowls ever.
Mayhem. That was crazy.
Prior to Brady, the Patriots lost the Super Bowl to the Favre's Packers, right? And they lost the Super Bowl to the 15-1 Bears in 85 or whenever that was, right?
Oh, that was a long... Yeah.
You were quite young. I'm old enough to remember that.
I would have been 4.
Yeah, I'd have been 12,
11,
I guess.
11, 12.
Yeah. So there, we did it on the fly. We're doing it live. All right, let's get it. It is pretty amazing what the Patriots did. I don't cheer for them, but that's pretty unbelievable. Oh my God, I just said it. It almost is unbelievable, actually. The Brady story. Okay, so this guy's going to get drafted. I think it was 199th. I don't think it was exactly 200. This guy's going to get drafted way deep in the draft, replace a top pick early in a season, and then never give up the starting job and become the greatest player of all time. That's borderline. Like, if when the Patriots would have drafted Tom Brady, and I would have come from the future to Boston and talked to Patriots fans, and I would have said, don't worry, this guy's going to be your starting quarterback. They would have said, no, he's not. And I would have said, no, he's not going to be your starting quarterback. You're going to win multiple Super Bowls, like more than 2. They would have said, okay, settle down. And I would have said, he's also going to become the greatest football player who ever lived. They would have said, that's unbelievable. His story is borderline unbelievable.
You think he's the greatest football player of all time?
Yes.
Or the greatest quarterback of all time?
Both. It's synonymous.
Okay.
And I'm not even a Patriots or Brady fan. How would you not say he's the greatest football player of all time? Plays the most important position in the sport.
Yeah. I've just never heard it referenced like that. I've heard greatest of all time, but that's usually in a conversation with other quarterbacks.
I'd say he would be the greatest football player of all
time. I'm not arguing. I just think that Barry Sanders.
Well, isn't that
would have to be
assumed
on
that if
list?
he's called the GOAT, that he's the greatest of all time, any position?
You know what, Reid? I think you're right.
For
I think
once.
that would be assumed.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Now we got to play some clips.
We got Kris Knoblauch after Oilers practice today. Just kind of asked for some further reflection looking back on that stinker against the Jets on Wednesday.
Some good things, some poor things. And we're never going to play a perfect game. We're not going to shut them down completely, not giving them any chances. I think we gave them a few too many chances. I think we got to be a little bit better, especially for a team that's the aspirations that we do. Defensive hockey is very important. But I think the biggest thing why things didn't go well the other night was just the play with the puck. So many times we had the puck not under pressure and just gave it up, and just not being on the attack, executing plays enough so they didn't have to defend. So yes, the defending needed to get better, but just the puck play I thought was the biggest culprit to our game the other night.
All right. Yeah. And McDavid and Nurse talked as well today and just said, just big mistakes. And as I was saying yesterday, Jay, there are always mistakes. Hockey's a fast-paced game where you're reading and reacting on the fly. And plus that little disc is frozen on a frozen surface. So players are going to lean the wrong direction or read a play incorrectly. I think for the Oilers, he mentioned the puck play. Fair comment. I mean, we talked about that. The Nurse and Eberson botch. Nuge gives the puck away in the slot. Guys bobbling the puck in the offensive zone. So there was stuff like that. And then, too, I think just the defensive layers weren't there, or one player covering for his teammate. Okay, that guy might get beat, but the other four guys are fine. So what's the guy with the puck really going to do? They didn't do a lot of that very well. It was a little surprising today. Emerson and Nurse weren't back together. Travis Dermott signed on the PTO up on Nurse's right side today. And Knoblauch was asked about finding a partner for Darnell.
Just a good hockey player, somebody who moves the puck, defend well, can play big minutes, somebody that they can relate to each other and knowing what the other person's going to be doing. And, that's something you look at the chemistry that Ekholm and Bouchard have built up and over the, last season. That didn't happen overnight, and we want to make sure that we can find that guy for Darnell, and we'll see who it is. And, Travis is going to have an opportunity for that spot right now, and we'll find out if it's good or not.
All right. Well, probably not the most reassuring thing for Oilers fans to hear. Now, look, Knoblauch, as you and I both know, and we've talked about this, almost everything he did last year worked.
Yep.
And I the big one I referenced, remember Perry and McLeod were scratched, came back into the lineup, got put on Leon's line. I remember Rob Brown and I sitting in Studio 99. They came up for the warm-up that way, and we were like, what is he doing? Well, McLeod scored that game, if you remember. They had a pretty good game. But the one thing I hear there, it's like, okay, so Nurse lost his partner. You want to build chemistry with a new partner. How does he build that if you change the partner for the second game?
Yeah, that's the obvious question here.
Right.
But I think he's still comfortable enough with where this team's at, given the offensive strength they have on the forwards, that they can tweak and play around with this to try and get this dialed in as early in the season as they can.
And I'll be the first to admit, it's also a fine line, because if you lose and then stick with how you lost, then you're going to get criticized for, well, didn't you know something needed to change?
Well, if you lose and then there's no, then your hand is almost forced to bring in a guy like Stetcher.
Well, and again, I'm surprised Stetcher's not in tomorrow. We'll see, but I think we're seeing that, as most of us were worried about before the season, right side of the defense, especially slots 2 and 3, that could be a problem. But you also have to give these guys a chance to play. They are in the NHL for a reason. Well, and Emerson and Dermott sort of in the NHL.
Knoblauch has a proven track record that these types of changes, like you said, have generally worked out in the Oilers' favor, right?
Do we have a decision in our poll in the Nasty Chat on YouTube?
Yes, I believe so. It's 54. So are you buying or selling a turkeyless Thanksgiving? 54% are selling that. So 54% are in favor of turkey. 46% are in favor of something else other than turkey.
Or would be fine not having turkey at Thanksgiving. It doesn't mean they dislike turkey.
That's right.
But they would be like, oh, hey, turkey's not being served, or maybe I'll pass on the turkey. Okay.
Yep.
I think I will be having turkey on Monday, but probably not a lot. Like I said, if there's Cuba and ham and some good Yuki side dishes,
what else does one want?
I'll be quite happy.
Now, the Cuba saw, is it served fried Or is it
No, it's just
raw?
a ring that gets sliced
A
up.
ring?
Yeah, you just chomp on it. It's pretty good.
You got to fry that up.
My family never has done it a meal like this because I think there's some other cooked warm meat, right? So the Cuba's not the main course, so you just might have 3 or 4 slices on your plate with everything else, and then you can pick away at it throughout the meal too, or after.
Speaking of Coob, where do you fit in here on this debate topic?
I feel like both of you guys are inherently wrong. That turkey belongs with the meal. I mean, when I think of Thanksgiving, the first thing I think of is a nice basted, either stuffed or unstuffed turkey. The smell, the aroma of a turkey is unmatched. Turkey skin is amazing. And, there's also turkey neck. There's parts of the turkey that aren't similar to chicken.
You're way too young to desire a turkey neck. That's a you got to be over 60 to
I like
demand
chicken
the
liver
turkey.
too. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah. I'm into that stuff, man. So
I don't know what to say.
Well, I know what to say. That you guys are wrong. I'm just gonna stand on that point. But agree to disagree. The other thing is, you're saying you guys eat it like if you're talking about it just by itself, just as a turkey, standalone. Maybe it is a little bit bland. I must agree. But I'm not going to eat chicken by itself. I don't really want to.
See, I could eat chicken by itself
either.
Sometimes I prefer to in the form of a chicken wing.
See, but that like chicken wings from a full chicken is a little bit different. Like if I have a turkey drum leg, one of those nice and
sure, but that's dark meat.
That is dark meat, but that's the best part of the turkey.
Well, there you go. I think
All right.
that settles that debate.
All right, we got to do our goof ups. I had a major goof up. I said Advantage RV sponsored a sports update. Of course, it's Wheeler's RV and Advantage Sports Medicine. That is a major goof up on my behalf. I feel much shame, and I will not have Thanksgiving dinner until Monday.
I invented a new word called tantalate. I was referencing or trying to say tantalizing, but I said tantalate. It is not a word. It is a term. Reid, you had more than one goof up.
Well, probably.
You said that the Oilers are the only team to have not scored a goal in the NHL.
Yeah.
Carolina, as pointed out by Rip City Step, Carolina has yet to play a game. So
I didn't even think of that.
Have not scored a goal.
When do they play? Oh, because they had the game.
Well, they're playing right now.
Oh, they're playing right now.
You also referenced that Calgary was here on Saturday.
Oh, that's Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just get my days. I get talking too fast.
It's okay.
Carolina's up 1-0.
Coop?
Well, my goof up was, this is a pretty big one for half my job being sports updates here. I thought the Lightning and Hurricanes game was delayed. Though it was yesterday, it was announced that because of Hurricane Milton, that the game would be moved to a farther time. But when I searched it up to ensure that it was actually not happening today, I didn't dig enough to see that it actually was. And then I reboot the NHL scores on my computer.
All right, it's
here.
a long weekend. Let's get going,
Okay.
guys. Come on, just wrap it up.
I thought the game didn't happen, and it was. And like you said, it's 1-0.
The Coob delivers. Well, we all had goof ups.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving. Do you have one you want to say?
No.
Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We're back on Tuesday. Hope you have a great weekend. On behalf of the Coob and Jay, I'm Reid. Take care.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.